stress, and it's not fun to look at. Teams the tension is so tight, and I'm feeling like for some of these teams that string's going to snap and it's going to be explosive. Let me get back into this. You see Revo, he's rubbing the eyes down the ears. That last game, I mean, yeah, rub the eyes. Blind to Vinny.
Apparently so, right?
शुरू भयो 5 blocks सबसे टपमा छ अहिले
of what they had to do, but when it came down to decision making, it just wasn't Alpha 7. It really wasn't. It didn't have that same caliber that we know they can play to. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was saying to you, it feels almost like you're watching 4 individuals that are fighting amongst themselves. It's not that sort of team effort that we saw that took them to that type of win last year. And a lot can change in 12 months.
Mafioso was the rock for that team, and now it's kind of squash who's that player for them. It's weird as well, because for Alpha 7, I mean, those 3 players have been together for the longest time. They have some very good grouping and play well off the back of one another. But I think the days are gone now where Revo can kind of just step up to absolutely anybody in the lobby and win with an EBS, just hands down. I think he has to play off the rest of the team and just having those moments where you're like, I'm just going to push up. It doesn't work. Anyway, we've had a lot about Alpha 7 there. Currently on a split up towards that north side. Let's hope it goes well in this game for them. And instead, let's take a look at Falcons. The last game could be described as some sloppy maneuvers. I think that they could make it through to the top 8 with that kind of play style. They look a lot more solid over in PMSL. I think they need to get back into things. I think for them, honestly, the pressure is probably less on here in survival stage, and it's pulled back a little bit, you know? That pressure goes straight to main stage, all the crowd cheering for them. Not as much for them here over in the survival stage. But again, it is still Colors making a lot of those big movements, a lot of those big decisions, and I'd like to see some more of the team, you know, step up for them, because right now you can't be the only one making those plays, forcing the team into good positions.
Yeah, I think again on that note as well, you could see sort of the high pressure decision making. The comms looked a little bit messy, and in the survival stage, I just don't think you can be allowed that luxury. It's got to be point perfect. The choreography needs to be nailed every time. If we're ever looking at them where it feels like, oh, you know, it's paralysis by analysis, they're not able to instantly make that heads-up call. Yeah, I just don't think that embodies how that team needs to play. We'll see, though, obviously. Game 1, right, we'll put it to one side. Let's focus up on the rest of the survival stage today. We're going to our second outing now. We'll see how the land starts to lie. Of course, relatively close grouping for the mid-portions of the teams there. Not gigantic point earners for the most part.
Five looks, I bet they're very pleased about the sandhog. I mean, it's been quite a while since we've seen an actual good 5-look sandhog. I think they were always in the conversation towards the end game, but getting themselves a chicken dinner must feel very, very good. You saw them shouting, they were elated by that win. It's a good moment for them. And I think the Fireflux, this is certainly the spark that might start something special for them in the survival stage. For their PMSL EU outing, you know, it was pretty decent, all things considered. Quite best over towards some other teams, but I think overall it was a very, very good result for them. Sort of came out of nowhere on that last day and just jumped and jumped and jumped. For Regnum Kari, on the other hand, there have been some really good games. I think in them 2 days of play in the group stage, there was really cool moments for them. What I think happened to Regnum Kari in that group stage is that they had a lot of situations where they capitalized.
गेमको लागि पनि सानोमा भएको थियो हाम्रो होराको 5 points म पपदेखि भन्छु पोइन्ट एफएफ को 17 EA को 14 फाल्कन को 10 एनएस को 10 YG को 7 S7 को 6 पावर को 6 RG को 5 होरा को 5 IG को 5 ओए केन को 1 नक र किल पनि EA को जोगरले खाइदियो
very similar positions to the circle. Yes, saw that, but like you say, just didn't quite capitalize on it. And we saw how well that went for 4 frags, right? Suddenly you absolutely blow the way up. They're looking
on the screen, maybe
I mean, again, man, like we're coming into this, they're one of the teams that you would expect to be able to make it out from this survival stage. I think with the talent, we should be able to bring it, but obviously you've got to show that in the lobby.
I think you would be disappointed not to see them go through. And it's funny actually, because the way things actually shape up right now, let's say E-Arena, which I feel bad saying. I think that's the only team that I'm sort of skeptical about, but if all 8 of these teams made it through to the finals, I think I'd be quite happy with that, honestly. I think that makes sense. 5 looks all the way down to Ragnar
खूप आगे बहर गाडीमा जोकर हो त्यो
horror, but I am prepared for anyone to make that big, impressive maneuver.
It's early doors. We'll hold our reservations for now. See how it develops.
यो सेभेनहरु माथि रहेछ यो ठाउँको नाम के यो ठाउँको नाम बिर्से मैले
7 up on the hillside. Exchange of nades. A few left in the back pockets, couple thrown out. Relatively fragmented as well. It's devoted.
यो 7 र X को परिवार रहेछ है सुरुमै
Not the best range.
तर फर्स्ट एकजना किल भइसक्यो केएनको EA को जोकरले खाएको थियो बाइजन बोकिरा रहेछ यार मलाई त्यो बाइजन गन चाहिँ दामी लाग्छ है GMX हले नि एक पोइन्ट पाएको थियो कि GMX हले त पोइन्ट उठाएको थाहै भएन मैले
this corner of Everest over towards AX. They don't want to get caught in the crossfire between 2 teams.
What a nice shot from Henry there. Good distance on it. Looked like the Mini 14 getting a tag from the sideline to Mafioso. So they are able to back themselves up. Of course, tons of cover to work with on this. It's not going to eat damage from the front line. Mafioso as well can kind of hold Ed guard on this, get a bit of a read on where they're going.
You're only difficulty right, so you get pincered a little bit. You're Alpha 7.
AX को मात्र 0 पोइन्ट विचार गर R8 फर्स्टमा अघिको गेममा फर्स्ट त्यो इलिमिनेट भयो पनि 1 पोइन्ट चाहिँ लिएर गयो है AX चाहिँ सेकेन्ड भएको थियो इलिमिनेट त्यस्तो नि त हैन सँगसँगै नै इलिमिनेट भयो हुन त तर नि कसले हाने यिनीहरूलाई माथिबाटै हो र
And it's a good spot. It's a very, very good spot. They play quite open around there.
RG team नजिक रहेछ
taking shots at the teams that do situate themselves on this locale, but it's going to provide information.
Sandwich भयो भने चाहिँ झ्याउ हुन्छ के यसमा हो र No Fear Sky Jewel सँगै गइरहेछ स्लिपी चाहिँ सब घरमै
We've seen a lot of good telltale signs, especially in that last game to the heads-up fights they went for. No Fear was making some nice plays. I think Sky as well, like the close range combat, dude, he was thriving. It felt like he was just kind of, bring me more, bring me more.
No Fear's had the moments, right? And I think the Sky's able to capitalize on them quite a lot, but yeah, No Fear's been opening up a lot of opportunities for this team. I think they fell off quite a large amount towards the end of the group stage, weren't able to quite maintain pace with some of the other teams who were just living in large, right? Alter Ego were living their movie throughout the entirety of that one.
Drop आयो
For horror, they just weren't able to match that.
YG त कहाँ छ यार नोभोमा छ भने YG
Much easier locale to really display some of that strength that they have. Now this is an awkward
FF हो र R8 चाहिँ यता रहेछ INF पछाडि रहेछ होरको पछाडि INF छ होरको साइडमा R8 R8 को त डम्मरसँग चाहिँ डराउनु पर्छ है
easily go for something like that. You don't want Fireflux coming in from that eastern side to pick that one up too quickly. So yeah, I think for Team Vision it is just a case of getting towards Church, making sure it's not taken because it is an
एकजना मात्र किल भएको छ केएन को एकजना EA ले खाएको थियो EA को जोकरले
R8 as well thrown into a potential battle
Radical
towards the roadside. Set up a couple shots back over Prestige, taking a hefty hit from Law, bringing down the gamble on that one.
R8 को नक भएछ किल भएछ त डमर यो डमरले चाहिँ ललाई नक हाने रहेछ त्यो त डमरको नाम दिएर डमर आएर म नाइस R8 को नि एकजना किल हो INF को नि एकजना किल
Law gets repealed, like you say.
Total 3 जना किल भएको छ
We went 3 for 3. I think us losing one player, you losing one player.
YG हरु त फुल सेफ साइडमा खेलिरहेछ नोभोमा छ कि सेफ जोन यता त सर्कल
If it went unanswered at that last game when they barely come to play, you're feeling so cold going into that third match. It's very rough. So they have to play in this game for a good 10 minutes from now, and they want to get some more of that practice in. All they've been doing over the past break day on a
शॉट्स नै ठीक हुन्थ्यो होला यार शॉट्स नम्बर कम से कम मान्छेले हेरि त रहेथ्यो
Galacticos down towards the south side though.
अनि शॉट्स नै हाल्छु होला म लाइभ अब त
Nice and up in front. Hold those players out. Horror's going to have to go for something very quick here.
Could be an interesting head-to-head as well. Both of those teams have been playing with a pace a fair bit throughout the games.
Horrorको एकजनाको हेल्थ आधी भएको छ.
Well, you know, a lot of question marks. They look a bit massive at times, but they've been able to switch it on when they need to.
Pretty rough position going through this field. A lot of sidelines available over towards it.
Pochinki.
Teams will be holding this, so they're just going to head over towards the south side of Pochinki. I think that's fair enough. They check the buildings down towards that south side where Yangon Galacticos currently ended up, and they didn't fancy that smoke. So getting over towards that south side, taking the gamble on that one, but no one's picked up.
Come on.
They potentially hold out R8 here. It looks like R8 is heading further down over towards Yangon Galacticos, which might have been a mistake for them. The next circle coming through. Ouch. Straight down towards the fields. Teams got to plant themselves in here.
If someone comes along to water to sprout.
Sleepyले 4 हानेछ त्यहाँदेखि 4 स्कर्पिस 4 यो त अस्तिदेखिकै त्यो होला काउन्ट चाहिँ यो 16 जनामा सबसे धेरै त हाम्रो इन्डोनेसियाको छ रोजमेरीको सबसे धेरै एलिमिनेसन रोजमेरीले गरेको छ त्यहाँ पर्न थालिसक्यो देखाएको हैन एफएफले आइएनएफकोलाई ढालेछ इले आइजीकोलाई ढालेछ आइएनएफको त किलै भएछ है दुईजना मात्र बाँकी छ आइएनएफमा आइजीमा एकजना नक छ वाइजीको आरइजीले ढालेको छ है मार्नेटलाई वाइजीको नकमा छ फाल्कोन र गामाक्सको भेट यो कोचिङकीको डाँडाको पछाडि हो हैन यो ठाउँ फाल्कोनको एकजना नक आइएनएफ पनि त साइडमा बसिरहेको रहेछ नि त फाल्कोन गामाक्स यतै छ आइएनएफ फेरि कहाँबाट हान्न छ आइएनएफले
That's why he goes down there. You sort of respect the fact that they actually went for this for the first time in forever instead of sitting out on the edge. I am pleased. I'm pleased. I'm very, very pleased with that.
He's smiling. He's smiling whilst he says it.
Oh, it is here.
Shot to the back line there as well of AX.
No, Sleepy, Sleepy. FF, Samsung is Sky.
That's 5 flux, of course, that took the opening chicken dinner of the survival stage.
Kun Bagrata, M416 DDS.
It looks like they're healthy for it.
Internet, Vita Molly.
They are over towards that northeast side though. Horror currently has that high ground against them, but plenty of little cover to play around with. This little ridge side as well is a nightmare to assault. I think Horror sent a player far down towards the south though, who might be able to take some shots through. That's no fear. Still, it's not easy. Thread the needle, try to find the pick off. Either way, no fears create space for them to push through in the end. Kino Trope, not a bad location. They're very, very central. Honestly, I would be very, very happy to see Falcons do well this game. But with Gamax on their north side, who caused some problems multiple times in the past, we'll have to wait and see. But we'll put a pin in that.
It's out for 7. To get the shots off with a mini 14 and leads back onto AX.
He was able
to find that shot towards Narvalo moments ago when they went for the reposition towards the compound where Gamax were holding.
It's very brutal. Kind of the
please only hide there, devotee like that. Knock.
Just open fields, that kind of open area. Grasslands.
EX could knock and a key level is a devotee. The please only hide there.
Bumpy though. There is some tree lines to work with.
ए7 मा कतिजना छ 4 जना बाकी छ यंगन ग्यालेक्टिकोस को 3 जना फाल्कन को 3 जना INF को 1 जना KN मा 3 जना बाकी RN मा 3 जना बाकी PSN मा 3 जना AX मा 1 जना बाकी कोही एलिमिनेट भएको छैन यो राउन्डमा अझै एक किलो उठाउनु पर्यो एफएफ ले 2 किलो उठाएको छ EA ले 3 किलो उठाएको छ EA र IG को भेट भयो इन्टेन्स गेमिङ हैन नाम त मिल्यो नि राफा डेन्जर छ यार त्यो इन्टेन्स गेम रहेछ गेमिङ हैन रहेछ गेम राफा लो भएर रहेछ है ये सेकेन्डमा छ यार र PSN भेट हुन्छ क्या हो को मरेछ त ल थाहा पनि भएन त मास त्यो नोटिफिकेसन नै देखेन त स्लिपी गएको रहेछ त स्लिपी त नआउने हो यार स्लिपी डेन्जर थियो स्लिपी गएछ त स्काई जिगल नो फेयर अब वो स्काईले ढाल्दियो भने एफएफ को किकले मार्दियो त्यो अनि फाल्कनकोले चाहिँ किल हान्दैछ एफएफ कोले नक हान्यो फाल्कनले किल हान्दियो यार स्काईलाई त्यो स्काई र स्लिपी गइसक्यो क्या अब के भन्ने भने EX इलिमिनेट फेरि 0 पोइन्टमा इलिमिनेट भयो यार EX अघि पनि 0 मा इलिमिनेट भएको थियो यसपालि झन् फर्स्टमै इलिमिनेट भयो त अघि चाहिँ सेकेन्डमा इलिमिनेट भएको थियो सेकेन्ड भन्नाले सेकेन्ड थियो डमरले ढालेको हैन कसले ढाल्यो ओ A7 को ढाले जोकरले माफिसु बुलाई YG को रोमियो ओ बिनीले हान्दै बिनी जोकर हिरो भएको छ यसपालि फर्स्टली डमरले ढाल्यो इजीले सेक्लरले YG को किलै हान्दियो रोमियोलाई नि किलै हान्दियो YG इलिमिनेट शेट यार YG ले यसपालि किल उठाउनु पाएन यार
There's limited time that they can take that long angle on the western side. I just don't think Mafioso had to make that peak, especially when he's placed himself
डमर
the blue as well, where the north side.
त्यसरी उठाएर लगाएर यार डेन्जर गयो स्पर्सले इजी खाइदियो यार
It was a nice attempt on the rescue mission. I'll give him that.
इजी किल पाएन यार यसले
What it is though, Squash is able to lock this
अझ
out.
त्यो नक मात्र छ त्यो नि किल उठाउनु पर्यो पोइन्टको लागि
Good tracing.
त्यो गाडी पड्काइदियो हुन्थ्यो त तर फेरि खै के हो यिनीहरूको दिमाग है अब हामीले भनेर हैन त्यो गाडी पड्काइदिए त जान्थ्यो नि हैन
Game for R8. Meanwhile here,
आइजीलाई त के हो यार यसले त आगै आगोमा हालेर मारिदिरहेछ त
intense game. Flashback.
जोकरमा सुरुमै किल उठाएको त्यो किलहरू उठायो भने नि जोस आउँछ नि के त मार्नलाई पब्जी खेल्दाखेरि फेरि त्यो गेम मिल्दै आउँछ कि फर्स्टदेखि नै किल पायो भने हैन इजी पावरको त्यहाँ गाडीमा घुमिरहेको रहेछ इजी E7 को माफिसु बुझै मरेछ ए र A7 भेट भयो ल दामी खतरा भेट भयो
Let him crawl in at least.
So roots they get that.
हरको दुई जना बाकी नोसेर जिगल मात्रै
Now for 7. Haji even taking
ल पावरफुल ओइ फाइदा उठायो त यसले त्यो अघि देखि त्यो गाडीमा त्यहाँ चलेर बसिरहेको थियो भने ल त्यही आएर हान्दियो मलाई माथिबाट
Joker trying to get away.
ए आफ्नो ए हैन इजी हैन रहेछ अर्कोले चाहिँ हानेर चाहिँ इजी चाहिँ त्यही कुरिरहेको रहेछ सब अनि नेटले खाइदियो साकुरालाई यार नकलाई टेक्निक पनि नक रहेछ ए को कतिजना बाँकी एकजना मात्र बाँकी जान्छ त्यो रिभाइभ हुन भ्याउँदैन के अरे अनि किल खाइदियो इजी किल खाइदियो ए जोकरले फेरि अझ मारिरहेको रहेछ यार तर त्यहाँ केएमकोलाई त मारेर गयो यार जोकरले आफू मर्नु अघि हानेरै गयो केएनकोलाई अनि केएनकै एकजनाले मारिदिएछ एनएस गयो जस्तो छ है आइएनएफ डक मात्र बाँकी छ डक भन्नाले फेरि एनएसको डक है ल नोफियालाई हाल्दियो यार पावरकोले
momentum going.
जिगलले खोजिरहेको क्या हो यसले अझै
Up onto the knocked players. There is still 2 alive in commission. That was Marth with the heads up maneuver to keep him up whilst the attention was turned.
1 point उठाएको छैन हो यो यसमा
On that E-arena crash that we saw moments ago.
जिगलमा यार कम अन जिगल
Fair way to this game. I think they had to. They needed something to give themselves a little bit of confidence going into the next match after that first one where it looked brutal for them.
ला नो फेरलाई त सिक्दियो भाइ
Meantime, though, a locust.
जिगल एकजना मात्र बाँकी के अब होरले के गर्यो भने के गर्यो
One shot after another.
हुँदै भेन यो त हुँदै भेन
The more they clear on the western side as well, the more strength they'll have in towards that end game. It looks like Easy's going to scout down up towards Alpha 7 here. We're getting peppered.
This is that split from Regan
जिगल लुकेर मात्रै होइन त्यो सेफ जोनमा मात्रै के छिर्दै लास्टसम्म त्यो इलिमिनेसन पोइन्ट आओस् न इलिमिनेसन हो प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट ऊ स्क्वास बुलेट हाल्दैछ त कसले हाल्यो अब भर्खर ऊ कारिलो ऊ R8ले हान्यो R8ले हान्यो आर्यको डम्बर त मरिसकेको रहेछ डम्बरको मात्रै एक किल उठाएको छ ल पावरले मा कस्तो यो आलिजीले यार फाइदा उठाइरहेछ भने पावरकोले अघिदेखि यताबाट नि हान्न पाछ उताबाट नि हान्न पाछ हैन यो पावरहरू फर्स्ट गेममा मैले हेरेर त ठिकै खेल्दा थियो के अनि अस्ति त सेकेन्ड गेम त बवाल खेल्दिरा भने पावरले 2 चिकन हानेर नि नछिर्या यार यिनीहरू ग्रुप स्टेजबाट सर्भाइभलमै खेल्नु पर्दिरा कि 2 चिकन हानेर नि गाह्रो अति यार यसमा त्यही भने त्यो स्किल पनि खासै चाहिँ देखाउन नपाउने पनि हो कि भन्नै पर्यो नि लक के ऊ नेटले ढालिरहेछ भने आरिजीलाई पावर त्यो मलाई पावरको त्यही आलेजीले के त्यो आलेजीले कति किल उठायो होला यार हेर्नुपर्छ अहिले पावरले टोटल किल 3 उठाएर रहेछ 2 किल उठाएर भर्खर पावरले यार त्यो आलेजीले मात्रै अनि मिठो हान्छ त यसले त 4 उठायो एकैचोटी आलेजीमा एसियनमा कतिजना 2 जना बाँकी हैन हो पावरको त 4 जनै छ यार दामी खेल्दा छ पावर होरको चाहिँ एकजना मात्रै बाँकी जिगल नेट बम युज हुन्छ धेरै यार नेट जसले दामी चलाउँछ हैन त्यो खतरा हो कि भन्ने गरेन हो ल ओइ जिगलले मार्यो है पावर कालेजीलाई मार्यो त के भने नक ल जिगल गयो इजीले हान्दियो पावरको इजीले हान्दियो जिगललाई किल उठाउन पाएन जस्तो लाग्यो जिगलले नक मात्र हाने जस्तो लाग्यो कारिलो मर्यो है एफएफ कोले कारिलो मार्यो A7 कोलाई एकजना मात्र बाँकी A7 मा A7 रिभोलाई नै मार्दियो स्कारफेसले एफएफ को नाइस इलिमिनेट A7
This is where they need to win this fight. I think it would be a crying shame if they lose this engagement.
A7 ले 4 पोइन्ट उठाएको रहेछ यो गेममा होरले एक जिगलको त्यो किलै पाएछ जिगलले त्यो पावर कालेजीलाई नो फेयर मार्ने पावर यो R8 चाहिँ साउदी अरेबियाको टिम Ragnar पावरको गामेक्स नक भएर रहेछ मर्ने लागिसक्यो अर्को त्यो रिभाइभ गर्ने पनि यार गामेक्सको इलिमिनेट गामेक्स इलिमिनेट
This is a long run from Koa over towards Power, which I personally think is really dangerous.
FF, Falcon, NS, Power, KN, R8 बाकी FF को सोलेस ले डाल दे यार NS को ले
Push into this, you better be ready, Black.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. I will say though, from Koa, the run he made on at least his hillside, quite safe.
को छ त फाल्कनी छ एफएफ पनि उति अगाडि नै रहेछ
He's dragging the team at times, kicking and screaming into these locations. And if it's the case that Ralph's making these calls, Koa is absolutely
NS को डक्सी रहेछ त्यहाँ
like, you want me to go scout that? I'll do it right now. No hesitation. And that's an initial knock coming through up towards Ragnar.
Yeah, that might have thrown you a bone. That's from R8 as well. So it was R8 being able to get the shot into the back line. could engage off of this. It'd be the opportunity to go for it. Obviously, you get that player back up pretty quickly then. They're giving them time to work with on this. They've got a little bit of cover for it.
Yeah, they have to move down, but I think they understand that for power, they've got to move first. Likely they'll send south, which I think Easy's doing right now. Kino Troops have just been living inside that shack for a long, long time. No one's been able to get close enough to send nades in. It is very much in the open. 2 loot crates to work with though for 5 looks, so take it and give from up on high.
Circle close. This hour. Abba parsa ki abba parsa danger.
It's tight on the elims as well. 7 for power.
NS ko exam त्यहाँ exam यता रहेछ डक्सी उता एक्जेक्ट भयो त
I feel like they basically just had freedom to
पावर एमल उठेरै गयो यार उठ्नै पर्ने भइसक्यो फाल्कुन त्यही छ फाल्कुन पनि जोनमा छैन छन् त ऊ त्यो R8 को एकजना बाँकी छ मार्छ भने त्यसले देखिरा होला यार तिनीहरुलाई छिरेको
He's going to move, and soon Ralph knows it. Just hold the angle. I have a rough idea now where the other players are from Fireflux at least.
Easily march R8, eliminate.
And he was just looking up to the right. Oh, caught slacking. Kench will pick up that elim.
NS पनि eliminate. Punchma eliminate भयो.
I think they'd much rather get rid of power though first.
So the good power we're making. Push back over onto Marth, steal away a bit of cover from him for now. Still 3 players alive.
Falcon, FF, Power र KN जापानको एयरचुन बचिरा रहेछ दुईजना.
Being able to live on borrowed time, just sat tucked in, dropping the smokes, keeping it uncomfortable for teams to get close.
Again, I think what's happening right now is the nades used by Falcons versus Gavax, which I think was unnecessary. They were going to go down at some point either way, as that blue pushed them out. Oh, Cohen does find catch. What a shot. And what a timing on it. No one goes down, and they can crash it. I think they have to crash it. Ralph's going to send it first here.
हान्दियो यार गाडीमै हान्दिने भने कस्तो हान्ने हो के यिनीहरूले एफएफको एकजना नक रिभाइभ भन्दैछ दुईजना किल केएन पनि दुईजना मात्र बाँकी सबको दुईजना हो पावरको मात्र 3 जना छ यार यो पावरले हान्न दिएर छैन चिकन यसपालि राम्रो पनि छ पावरहरु
just not entirely sure what the idea was. I think they bought themselves some time, in which case they could start looking out over towards power. They didn't even bother to try and scout those players. Ketch is going to send out of the way, immediately ducks down, and so hands, will be back down. Flipping him through the grass.
नक छ फाल्कनको एकजना मात्र बाँकी पावरको 3 जना केएन को 2 जना एफएफ को एकजना नक एकजना मात्र बाँकी नकमा चाहिँ रिभाइभ गर्नु भ्याउँछ भ्याउँदैन होला एफएफ ले भ्याउँदैन टाढा रहेछ भ्याउँदैन गरेन र इलिमिनेटै हान्दैछ त कसले हान्दै त्यसलाई फाल्कनको एकजना केएन को 2 जना ला देख्दिरा त्यसले केएन को लाई केएन को कस्तो ब्याड लक हो पावरले लान्छ यार यो फाल्कनकोले अहिले यसलाई मार्दियो हो र्याग्नरलाई केएन गयो फाल्कन एक्लै छ पावरको 2 जना छ पावरको नि एकजना त नक रहेछ 2 जना मात्र बाँकी हान्दै हान्दै इजी देखे त्यो यार इजिले हान्न सिद्धियो पावरले जित्यो पनि भनेर पावरले चिकन हान्छ जस्तो भने हान्दै यार
I don't know why he'd want that position for 5 looks again. He just try and wrap on top of
power. It's
an interesting one, Jackie. But again, Falcons do get themselves a second place. I love that they pushed that position. A
Falcon.
lot of times they just won't take those opportunities when they're right in front of them. And this time at least they
Team नजिकै बसिरहेछ फाल्कन त्यहाँ रहेछ पावर यहाँ रहेछ नि त
It might not have been as clean as they were hoping for, but I tell you what, for power, they were mopping up squads like a spilt drink. Some fantastic action on that one. A great second game, an early chicken dinner, looking more like the power that we know and love. It is about time there. More power as well. Just pushing those numbers upwards. Good play, very game for Narvalo. I think we've had plenty of moments there where Narvalo has gone down a little bit.
पज गरेको थिएँ है ल कहाँ भाग्यो केटा हो
Just a struggle on the rotation. In the meantime, we're going to head right over and rotate back to this after a short break.
फर्स्ट चिकन कसले खायो एफएफले खायो चिकन पावर पावरले सुरुदेखि राम्रो खेल्दा थियो चारैजना सँगसँगै जस हिँडेर राम्रो गरेको थियो एकजना त मर्यो तीनजना बाँकी थियो लास्टसम्मै लास्टमा नि एकजना मात्र नक दुईजना बाँकी टुरियो भने इजी हान्यो घोरले खानु पर्यो चिकन अब एक भोक लाग्यो एकैछिन है खाजा लिएर आउँछु कोही त छैन त्यही पनि
Currently here with Team Gamex ahead of our survival stage. I have to ask you, why do you think it was that the group stage performance was a little bit of a struggle for you boys?
Because it's like our first international tournament. Even we have like one player, it's first tournament ever, that tournament. So we struggled, like we need more experience, just time, need more time, and I think we had it for the first 2 days on the group stage.
And how have you boys been supporting him, you know, with it being his very first LAN?
It's the same game, not to change it. Like we playing online or LAN, it's like same game, same tactics, just different team, like more powerful than our region, but still we can do it.
And speaking a little bit more about the performance that you had, there was a distinct lack of eliminations throughout a lot of the games. Talk to me about the game plan heading into survival stage. Can we possibly see more aggression coming through from you?
In survival stage, I don't think we're gonna be aggressive for this stage. As a team, I think we will play by the way who make us win only.
And obviously, my last question for you boys, you headed into this entire event having won the National Egypt Championship. Do you think the play style of all of these international teams is much different?
Exactly, too much different because national championship is way different with international because like we have 14 national and then BMSL and then PMWC, so it's a long way to get here.
Would you say that the competition here at EWC is way more difficult than the nationals?
Yeah, exactly, than ever national region.
All right, well, best of luck to you boys. I'm hoping to see more fight coming out of you. We'll see you in the survival stage. Thanks.
Well, we have Power overwhelming here at PMWC, as Power's been able to take the first match on the grass pastures of Erringel. Joining me is Seven, as well as Maxman. Seven's loving it. He loves that Power's been able to take this one. Talk to me about Power.
I was just happy to see them play like how when we would just tell them, good job, we were watching PMSL Tina. And the reason why I said that is because they would end up third party quite a lot. Don't worry, I'll break it down for you. 12 eliminations out of this team, but they were just being a lot more proactive. They were third party in fights. They were making sure that they got a lot of ground. At one point, they were having a 1-1-2 split, which was quite impressive. And then, I mean, at the end, the way that they were able to play that perfectly, just waiting until the last second, sending 2 players towards the south, maintaining 1 player there towards the top of the hill, that was the winning play. All the teams in this game were pretty much in the field like, please sir, can we have a good position? No, this is our mountain. You're not going up here. And actually because of that, they kind of push away Arena. They eliminate that team onto the western side, and they avoid Alpha 7 from claiming the high ground position pretty much this entire game. So they were very, very controlling on that little high ground position up northwest. So Power, they had a really good setup on their second day of the group stage, and it seems like we are seeing a bit of a continuation of that here in the survival.
Another strong fight back from Fireflux as well, coming in as the only team really from the east. I thought maybe we could have a bit more of a 2-2 split going on for them. The 4 in that one location seems a bit much, Max, and it did cost them some casual.
Well, unfortunately, you've got a lot of teams around you. You have Northern, you have Falcons looking your way. One little hate now is just not going to cut it, defensively speaking, and you're just going to be losing players. So it didn't work out for them. It's unfortunate, good entry point, but the circle is just forcing you to bad spot that you can't defend properly.
And it didn't help them that they were just focusing so much on the fight happening between Kino and then Alpha 7. They didn't even realize what was happening towards the south of them. Zero scouting, it ends up hurting them.
Let's take a look at the match report overall here for this one. Mr. Joker here, getting himself 6 eliminations. Gets though, and that's actually quite impressive damage from coming in from the field, Max, considering that you're really trying to bunker down, really not draw too much attention about yourself, so that's very well done.
They were trying to play it silent until Power got involved, because they got in that one building on the high ground position of that big plateau up north, and they were just getting naded to hell by all of Power. Like, I think the Power was just out of utility after that fight and just looted the crates of the arena. They were really struggling at that point.
One team, though, that did have a potential semblance of control.
Oh no.
Do you want me to bring up Falcons?
We can talk about Falcons over here,
Yeah, should we?
Let's do it. All right, let's look at this. We don't push 1 by 1 normally, and what are Falcons doing? 2 solo drive-bys right next to Fireflies to instantly punish it. This is literally, use this as an example of how not to do a push. And Falcons, unfortunately, a team that we expect to do well, just not able to claim that control. That could have been a game-winning angle if they got it too.
It really would have been. And I think what keeps hurting this team is just losing Narvalo so early on. Once again, back-to-back games where they end up losing Narvalo, and they're kind of forced to do this kind of pushes. They're maybe not expecting it. It is a dumb push. Something that we're not used to out of this team, but then you're going to have to readjust. Luckily for them, Koa did decide to stay in the back and very proactive, showing why he was the MVP for PMSL EU.
I actually think if that fight, even if they do beat Fireflux, I think the car keeps going in the blue zone. So I think it was like his phase, I think they still go out even if they win it. So that was yeah, they have an odd one. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, fair. Difficult though finish for some of those teams in the field. Obviously, as I say, Power though flexing down to the bottom to establish even more control. We were musing over the idea of whoever's going to win out these hill fights from that west side should have a good opportunity here to be able to get themselves big points on the board.
Well, at one point, we even saw Alpha 7 where they were being a little bit passive there towards the edge play. We're okay. Let's see where you're going to be going, right? Are you going to be going towards the north? Are you going to be maybe fighting power? Are you going to be waiting for a third-party situation? And no, they just end up deciding to fully send it with 2 players towards the middle. It didn't end up working out them for a split second, Max. Though we saw the hovercraft. We're like. Maybe. It didn't end up working.
The hovercraft in the field finish is like
Pretty good.
It's a gift from the gods. Okay, just especially when it's exploded, it's just a fortress you created at that point. I actually played a game of Ultimate Royale. I had 4. we had 4 hovercrafts, and you just like make a little building. And you just ridiculous. Did you win? No.
All right, well,
we got never mind.
Well, we have a lot going on here, not only the PMWC, but also we have the PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival, and it is live this weekend from August the 1st to the 3rd. Log in, summon surprise airdrops, and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers to enter prize draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Additionally, jump in game now and vote for your favorite airdrop partner. You might even score some awesome surprise gifts for them, which is very lovely. Don't miss this year's Airdrop Carnival and unbox your lovely surprises, Mr. 7. What do you think about that?
I've done it.
You've done it? You're on? You're good to go?
I'm not gonna say what I got. I haven't done it yet. Actually. I've done my in-game predictions.
You've been busy. You're here at PMWC.
Yeah, true. I thought you were unboxing surprises last night. Oh man.
Shush you. It's time to get to the game here at Erangel once again. Game number 3 for the survival stage. Let's head to the casters. That's right.
Oh man, you caught me off guard.
Oh, hello. Shut up, you.
My bad.
Shut up, James. We're going to unbox this game right now.
He's just gone for
I
it.
try to give you one of these.
I didn't see that.
Oh, I try to do the so don't forget to try to give the
He's
old.
waved a hand at
The old
He's given one of
matrix.
these. Yeah, he's given one of these.
Matrix, yeah.
Let's do it together. Are you ready? On game 3. On. Why different of. But you kind of, you've gone the wrong way there. Yeah, but you've gone for the wrong
got to
word.
deal with that.
Well, look, you've gone for the wrong word, and that's fine. We'll let you off. Everyone shade blank in the chat.
Was there a script I had to follow?
You don't follow the script?
I don't have one.
Well, you shouldn't.
I wing. Much like the player.
Silly boy. Actually, it's pretty good. It's 2 wings.
It is. A double winger. That's me and you right there. On either side. Double propel. On either arm. Yeah, we're heading over to number 3. I am.
You tangle.
Untangle. I've untangled
Okay,
myself.
good.
Teams are going to have to untangle themselves from this awkward playing path, which is a straight line, but the drops are not easy. You're going to get a little bit lost in the forest on the drop.
It's quite a windy day.
It is. Get blown all over the place. In the meantime, a lot of teams will have to send far, far north here, or as north as they can get on this particular plane path, and it will change some of these drops up a little bit. Not expecting Kinotrope to maybe try and hot drop over towards the Falcons, but they're going to head down towards Very Clear, which I think is, that's open, so that's fine. They can take that. It's your turn now.
Wow, it seems like you want to do all the talking.
Hey.
I just wondered if you keep going.
There, bro. I'm done.
It's alright, we do a little back and forth here. We're trying out a new stand-up comedy routine. Let us know if that landed. Otherwise, we'll just do normal intros for tomorrow.
I tried to make it very clear. I didn't make it very, very clear.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with myself.
Well, that's fair.
A little bit of introspection
But
is
The
good.
Rock doesn't give a damn about what you've got to say, because I'm all about the gameplay. And that's what we're here for, Blank. Now you talk. Now you talk.
My turn.
Kildito. Suru.
I got the mic again. My turn. It's amazing. Give me some gravitas. I'm quite gravitas.
Yeah.
Woo!
There you go.
Was like that? Was that good?
Surely that's good everyone had done, right?
Yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I'm hyped myself up.
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Cool,
You
like
think
rest of
so.
the
We've got a little bit of introspection. You've got to hype yourself up, get yourself into it. This is the advice I would give to all these teams.
Ironically, that actually is a pretty good summary of the sort of mindset you need to be going into. Halfway point of the day, right? You've got to try and get those jitters out of you, forget about what's happened to the game. Some rough starts for a few teams.
INF को ल त ढालेछ त कसले ढाले हो पावरले ओए पावरले INF हिट भएछ नि त ठिक बा भोक लागेर यार हैरान म त
Certainly influenced them here. Compared to some absolutely monstrous opponents. Currently second place. That is a beautiful jump.
Hell of a jump on.
Look how serious he looks as well.
Oh yeah.
घोडामा टक्क राजकुमार
Gameplay. That's what we're bringing to you live.
राजकुमार
Through the fields of Erangel.
ल INF को ल त मरेछ यार
A glorious gallop.
अझै पेल्नलाई आइरहेछ यो
Power.
INF ले त्यहाँ त्यसो चिरमा बस्नुहुन्न यार के छ
In the front lines. Charging back to his team to assist. That is not a trot. It is an all-out sprint for domination. He's coming. He stopped.
अनि यसले माथिबाट खबर दामी
Yeah, he might have needed to be a
Damn
bit quicker
position,
on
eh?
the horse rotate. It's not really worked. Influence Rage are able to fight back and take down one of power.
Oh, Vahidon's in a bad spot now. There was some shots from the sidelines coming through, but Vahidon's all on his own. Just got the pumpy up top side. And he takes a disgusting tag as he drops.
पावरको एकजना डाउन
Yeah.
किल हान्दियो है
Back 10 madness up close.
दुईजना किल भइसकेको रहेछ नि त पावरको
Slaps him upside the head. Ragnar from the top side though.
माथिबाट हान्दियो
Let's start to show what
Ragnar.
it's made of. Bullets down range.
INF को नक थियो
Influence Rage once again.
नकको हेर यति छ बचाउनु भ्याउँछ कि भ्याउँदैन बचाइरहेछ नेड हान्दियो भने चाहिँ गाह्रो पर्छ है सम्झ्यो
Oh, he's a bad boy when it comes to it. See if he can hit this one. It will be very
नेट
influential.
फेरि नक हो क्या भएन लक
Easy. 360. Ragnar's just sent it.
पावरको को हो त्यो ऱ्याग्नार त लति नै पुगिसकेको छ नि त
Ready for it.
He was late to the party. Everyone's already left, but he's determined to keep the music on.
बेला सँगै खेलिरहेको
Just dives into action. 17 bullets in the clip. SMG.
खतरा परिरहेछ यार
Pull out the UMP. Yeah, you know me. Ragnar about to make some crime scenes.
ल ऱ्याग्नारले खाइदियो
Boy down and out. Not the big man.
ल दुईजना
But the turnaround from Ragnar. Feel his wrath.
Pulls up a full bullet, and that's all he needs.
दुईजना खाइदियो यार आइनफको एकजना मात्र बाँकी हो डिएको
Away, but somehow
ऱ्याग्नारलाई नेटले खाइदियो वा
the tag, Diego will
डिएगोले नाइस नेट हान्यो है
We are in a 1v1 between Easy and Diego topside, but in comes another team.
दुईजना हान्यो यार ऱ्याग्नारले हिरो हो यार ल आइदियो भित्रमा किल खानुलाई
Everyone starts to cheer Ragnar's name.
आइदियो खाइहाल्छ नि एकजना त बाँकी छ
Silence over the fight in the compound. Diego tucked in, trying to play on the back foot. Easy. About to
यो
be
ढोकाबाट
hit with a
छिर्यो
heavy
भने
nade,
डेन्जर
up close
नेड
and
ल
personal, just a desk to provide cover.
Glenn safe, Molotov in.
ल गयो
This one, I'll just fully
Gotcha.
take the brunt. Walks out the way. No one's seen him just
Gotcha.
yet. Gets the tag. We'll find the knock, but it's not enough with Silence, who will silence the party.
पावर
Here.
पनि इलिमिनेट
The boombox thrown out the window.
आइएनएफको एकजना बाँकी छ यार अझै
Diego.
डिएगोमा
Tough scenario now. Influence Rage. Power will take the #1 spot, but for how long? Only 1 point ahead to Fire Flux, but they have had a good run today so far.
डिएगोले चारजनालाई क्लच हाल्यो भने चाहिँ डेन्जर होला डिएगो
For Diego,
सम्झ्यो
sweating bullets right now. Off and
What?
back on the side, couple shots connect. Silence does not give a damn. Spams the shots into the loot crate, adds insult to injury. An intense game. Make out with the cleanup crew plays on the fight. Influence, Rage, and Power.
Answer the 3-3. Kind of a wild step down, by the way. Now I'm looking at it. Alpha 7 and 6 with the 11 points. That drops down to
Ora 4 जनै बाँकी छ
Single digits all the way through to
सबको 4 जन बाँकी छ होला त
AX with a big fat goose egg.
कसको पर्यो A7 को गामेक्स
He's got a bailed heater that hot behind the wheel, terrified about having a bike taken out of him. Squash was looking for the setup with the trace. Able to limp out of there with his lives behind the steering wheel.
We're in pretty central. This is actually one of the more fair circles we've seen in quite a while here, Jackie. Regnakai leaving Poshvik behind over towards Rozok just in case he does back up that way. Regnakai currently in 9th place, which is the 8 points. It's not been an ideal result.
Ora RG गामेक्स A7 PSN So, the noise
A lot of potentially. Potentially this is the game to do it. We'll have Horror Esports wrapping up on that north side. Does Foxy go down here? Because they are just rocking straight up towards him. And it will be wild to take the first. And that's the keynote.
Kian को लेट हाल यार आरी दे आरी को एक जना नॉक दुई जना नॉक Kian को एक जना नॉक
Regnakai as well, taking hefty blows here, but you're down to 2 players. It's an awkward firefight between them. You're getting crashed on from either side with Keynote Pro and AX diving into action off the back of the punch. Henry firing out bullets with the scar.
Yes, Ora को बीचों में nice
locking down the wide sight lines up front as well.
2 points accrued. That 0 pointer completely gone.
आरी को एक जना kill
Not the case no more. No way you follow.
डिवाइ भन्न भ्यायो के भएन भएन आरी को दुई जना स्काइले हान्दियो है VSN को लाई
Who's the caller? Not for barbecue.
VSN को एक जना नॉक है स्काइले हानेको हाम्रो
They'll take that point.
As he sounds, barbecue opening soon. Reorder your tickets for the grand launch.
Got Turkey on the bench. Keynote Tro. 2 players up. Falcons off in the distance there. I think the Regnakai, if I'm
VSN को नॉक मात्र भयो आरी को नि एक जना नॉक छ
they've had a couple of games in the past. Nice made, Devo team. A couple of games in the past where they've left Rozok. It's come back to bite them later on. So they tried to take this 2-2 split. When you get this circle shift back this way, there's going to be a lot of teams flowing through this area, right? They want to play the 2 roads. They want to play the warehouses.
Devotee, this possible elimination
game decision
game,
on whether they want to stay on Rozok or they want to regroup here. But they didn't have the time to make it happen. Oji-san, final player left remaining. One Molotov remaining. We know that he can be nasty with it. He's gone.
स्काइले नक त हाने थियो किल चाहिँ उठाउन पाएन छ कुनै बात नै
Able to withstand the shrapnel and at least stay alive for now. Setting up on the sideline behind the rock as well, trying to get a read onto Ozi-san.
एक्स र केएन को डेन्जर परिरहेछ यार केएन को एकजना मात्र बाँकी छ के एक्स को त 3-4 जनै छ त एफएफ कहाँ टाढा रहेछ हो र वाइजी सँग आरइजी जीएमएक्स गामेक्स सँगै छ यार आरसी नै रहेछ त आरइजी के हो यो उयोको एकजना नक किल भयो यार भर्खर स्लिपीले एफएफ को टेकलाई हाल्यो है नक हान्यो नक एफएफ को लाई स्लिपी किल हान्दै स्लिपी खै हो र देखा न यार A7 र ए भेट हुने भयो यार रोजकमा यहाँ ल आरइजी र फाल्कन पनि रोजकमै त रहेछन् वारी पारे 4 जना 4 वटा टिम छ यहाँ रोजकमा यो पनि रोजक हैन भने केएन मध्ये किन आको यहाँ गयो केएन एक्लै छ कि केएन को एकजना मात्रै छ I'm bit so sandwich on our
favorite spot, by the way. They love playing.
Sleepy Mardio cake like
Issue with it is that
Mardio ne, a point to tie over a
gets pushed a little bit too hard, and I don't think that the Falcons quite have a solution for it yet.
एउटा चाहन पाए मजा आउने हैन है
This game, because they have a huge amount of potential from this position. Nice high ground to work with.
E7 को भेट भयो खाली E भेट भयो हैन E बारी पारे उस रोजकमा आएछ त हो र पनि त छेउको घरमा छ E7 यहाँ उ E यही छ हक्का यताउति हुन बित्तिकै सर्ट भेटिहाल्छ अब त केन एकजना भयो भने उ यहाँ बिचमा छ आरइजी अनि फाल्कन हैन उ यता साइडमा लेफ्ट साइडमा अब चाहिँ हो नि उ फाल्कन यता राइट साइडको घरमा चाहिँ फेरि होराहरु छ है आगे हेर्दिम न त अनि
It was cinematic. It was cinematic.
सिनेमेटिक यस्तो त हामीले कति गर्यो
Squeezed it through.
अझ त्यो बाइक त म यस्तो उडाउँथे नि पहिला त्यो डाँडामा उडाउने ठाउँ देखेको उडाइहाल्थेँ बाइक त त्यो मजा आउँछ त्यो बाइक उडाउन ब्याकफ्लिपहरु त कति हान्यो
Smaller on the inside, it'd be a bit of a shame.
It'd be weird, wouldn't it? Yeah. Wait to my dad, it's a closet.
Yeah, where's all the space?
This is a high-tech machine.
YG Yemen Galacticos
All the space on the inside.
That would be a weird parallax effect. I'm not gonna like it.
TZ NS को TZ
Smile, like shots out the window. The Yangon.
nice try
One of their top players on towards group stage was putting a huge amount of work in. There is some games where Yangon's able to get quite a few points. Usually they do limp in towards those final circles though. This is hella awkward for Falcons. As we send over towards that eastern side. Now Gamax might have played a blinder on this one accidentally. Obviously you don't know what the circle's going to go, but that's actually a really nice
cool, yeah.
and gives you a huge amount of control. Now Falcons is at the back of the queue. Fantastic compound a minute ago, not so much anymore. Horror's quite glad, despite being one of the first to this location, they didn't fully commit. And they didn't have to. They had the option to play on this eastern side, and they'll get a lot of benefit from that.
Yes, even RG ले डाल्यो यार
Kari as well, of course, been trapped. It's just a duo for so long. After 7, able to get the side
नक मात्र हो फेरि यसरी गर्दा हुन्छ चारजना त RG को दुईजना एकजना नक छ
Obviously not really in the spot to quickly make the dash to grab it just yet. It's over the top.
एफएमले नेर हानेर किल चोर्न लागिरहेको छ टिजीले राफालाई हान्दैछ यार
Starts in Roswell, pretty rubbish.
टिजी भनेको चाहिँ एनएस राफा भनेको चाहिँ आइजी को
Just going to let that one room in, really. Just thought I'd let that air for a bit.
I don't think that they're bad at it. I think it's just
but
Sorry, you're moving further away. Is that backtrack?
डल्फिन आइजी हो आइजी एलिमिनेट भयो
I think that it's not a case that bad at it. It's indecision. If I'm being
हो र अरु खतरै सेफ खेलिरहेछ जस्तो अहिले
Also, what we have seen a couple of times already, where it feels like the split on the inside
सेफ खेल्नै पर्यो नि अब त
hasn't really been there, especially today, where it's felt almost like the pressure of the situation has been getting to the more.
Yeah, so we should move. We can't just sit in our drop spot and get on with almost this hyperactivity. We've got to take a 2-2 split or something. Surely it's not going back over to Rozok again. But no, unfortunately. I think that is the difficulty for a team that starts at Rozok. Obviously, I don't want to make some kind of a play early. You don't want to just sit around forever. Always already found the 2 Elams though, which is nice. Settling Falcons in a firm 3rd spot.
पावरहरु फर्स्टमै तिरै आउट भयो पनि 3 पोइन्ट लिएर गएको छ यार
They've just come off the back of was very important. I think you put it well. You said they're quite passive games, and they were just trying to get into that top 8. And it's so funny because when Falcons start playing like this, we just need these points. We can play it cool.
त्यसमा यस्तै हो क्या
Need anything drastic here.
भन्नै सक्दैन अहिले पावरले चिकेन हान्यो ल अहिले फर्स्टमै आउट भयो के कोही भन्दा कोही कम छैन यो सब खतरै छ जस्ट टाइमिङ र लक डुओटीले टार्नेछ एक पनि एकदम नक रहेछ रिभाइभ गर्दैछ
Outside, so a bit of a split, 1-3 on
How did I
that
know?
to try and link back up. It's Volt's a key piece in this team as well.
Yeah. One thing I really do like about AX is that whenever you look at the player counts, they're always speaking one of them.
हरहर त्यही बसिरहेको अब जोन कहाँ पर्छ होला त
That is clear, right? Yeah. But
रोजोमै पर्यो नाइस नाइस
giving it their all.
ग्यामेक्सहरू ठ्याक्क चिन्नुमा रहेछ यार
Also quite unhappy.
वाइजीहरू त कहाँ पर आर्यन टाढा आर्यनहरूले चाहिँ ड्रप खायो होला
Man, if Regan Kai just sat still, then could have been a very different game for them. Thompson playing on that south side. Still at 4 players as well. I think it's a good position to play. You don't have to worry about a lot of the major action happening on that north side. You can sit pretty down towards the south. Yes, you don't have the high ground, but there is less teams to contend with.
Plus as well, a team that I think at times it's been a little bit too slow for me, what I've seen.
Yeah.
And it worries me really, especially in these kind of lobbies now.
Not feeling very Galacticos, you know?
No.
Not very Higgs boson. They don't encompass everywhere.
आर्यनहरू पनि राम्रो ठाउँमा छ नि
Comes Yangon.
घुमेर आयो भने त फेरि
I mean, he's crazy.
सेम
Same crash.
ओतिनले पनि त्यही भन्दा सेम भनेर सेम ल वाइजे चाहिँ मिस्टेक गरे हो नि त्यही यार वाइजे खोक्कटा उडेर आएर मर्न आएको हो नि वाइजे त
Yes.
That was a delivery.
सबसे मजा नआउने देश ल
Now for 7 will take it. You can get the pick back up as well. Squad playing medic instantly, so they're fine. They can reset from it.
I like that though from them. Wow. Okay, I like that. They instantly start shooting. Straight after that concludes, stopping teams from wanting to peek it. Or, in fact, even inviting some.
ग्यामेक्स र आर्यन भेट भयो ओहो
Arthur moves up.
ढाल्यो आर्थरले
Mark with that name must have just been slightly out.
नेडै नेड फाइट के अब गन भन्दा पनि नजिक छ हैन
In an awkward spot.
गट हाल्छ त्यसपछि अर्थरले इजी हान्यो
Not down yet.
अर्थर एकजना मात्र डाउन हो यिनीहरूको आर्यनको त फेरि एकजना मात्र बाँकी हो नि
Gets the med kit.
ग्यामेक्सको 3 जना बाँकी आर्यनको एकजना बाँकी भन्नाले नकमा छ अरूहरू चाहिँ
Or away with it.
Ricochet the nade. Geometry there at the building. Quite land on target. They get ample time to deal with the fragmented players.
होरहरू फाइदा उठाउन आउनला हो क्या नहोस् यार
Really just trapped on
ऊ
the push.
घुमिरहेको छ यार होरको बाटो गाडीमा
Curious what this play from Sleep here.
नो फेयरले इयर ड्रप चाहिँ कसले गरेछ आर्यनले मारिदियो है त ग्यामेक्स एकजना चाहिँ
It's been a rough spree
Knock,
for
sir.
our rate today.
भ्याउँछ कि
KPK.
भ्याउँदैन क्या हो यार एनएस आइसक्यो त्यो नक बिचरा त्यहीँ बसिरहेको छ यार कोही आएर बचाइदिएला भन्ने छ
Quite nicely, and in comes more and more
यो एरिया नि खतरा फाइट पर्छ यार तल र माथि है
shots from a hell of a distance.
र पहिलाको पब्जी याद आउने यार
Away, but still making it work. Interesting as well. Not sure.
बचाइदिए त हो नि बचाउनु भ्याएन छ यार मरेछ यार ग्यामेक्सको एकजना
Here and there with some of the rotates we've seen. This is one where they line up. Top heavy angle for Doxy.
ग्यामेक्स खाइदियो कि क्या हो
Magazine detonates his way through. Scamax trapped in position. Paranoia inside the building, but Tizzy able to compose himself and find that one onto Fajita.
एकजना मात्र बाँकी रहेछ यार ग्यामेक्सको बिचरा यार भर्खरै आर्यनलाई ढालेर बसेको मात्रै थियो होइन त्यस्तै हुने कि यसमा जस्तो गर्दा नि नहुने कि सिक्यो ग्यामेक्स इलिमिनेट एनएसले इलिमिनेट गरिदिएको छ ग्यामेक्सलाई एनएसको 6 इलिमिनेसन पोइन्ट सबसे धेरै यो राउन्डको 6 इलिमिनेसन एनएस सेकेन्डमा एएक्सको 4 अनि पावर 4 र आइजीको 3 र अरू बाँकी 2 0 1 छ
Really not sort of turning any cheek to show their emotion. They had a bad game, it was very obvious, but it felt like they did at least kind of unpack the bag with it. So it was a rough game.
जोन त डेन्जर सरिरहेछ
Dude, there was a big solve.
डाँडामा जोन परेछ यार
It was a big solve on their gameplay, how they want to work these things out. I like that. I did like that from them. really good at their gameplay. They're going to bring that into survival stage 2. It wasn't like they didn't gain anything from that day 3. Tizzy finding yet another with more.
Cute. Tizzy le the danger and it's a knock kill and there. Sky le ane ho. Yes, Sky le bolt ko le dal diya sa taro kiyo nafsus. Revive ana pyonsa yaar tille.
Like some really good shots from the M4.
Oi, no fear le khatra dal diya sa to.
Sky and no fear, racking him up and knocking him down.
No fear le down ane Sky le चाहिँ oi no fear le अझै हान्दै मार्सेलो लाई मार्दियो पनि. No fear कहाँ छ?
No way to move up. Good clean-up crew action over on
दामी है.
the last man. He's now gone.
It's actually, to be honest with you, that early rotate out from Sleepy was quite nice. They got a lot of information off the back of that. They knew which angles to watch. They didn't have to move out from the eastern side of Roswell, but they do it anyway just to pick up some free elims and clear out the eastern side. That's their big goal.
Yeah, no,
they can start to work the issue over towards the west.
This is a classic fight. It was like AX and Nunchik Red Force have been thrown into a hell in a cell again and again. Two teams have been scrapping throughout the entire tournament, group stage, and again here in survival stage. The late bout on this one, nades over the top. Area trying to keep them pinned in position. Dizzy with the nade back over, Vinny relatively low as well. Has to top himself back up.
Nade after nade. That looks like a better air burst in my opinion, but Cyrax does take a lot of damage from the strike from the air there. In the meantime, Horror moves up over towards Fireflux. They find Solus as a solo in one of the buildings. On Reservoir right now, it's hard to get yourself...
दुवैजना एकै ठाउँमा भयो कि त्यहाँ नेट आयो भने त दुवैजना जान्छ त फेरि.
Close quarters, nades. You've got to tuck him with the shot.
डिभोटीले भेट्या हो. ए शटगन भेट्या रहेछ डिभोटीले. हेनरीले बिनीलाई नक
inside of the smoke with the shot in.
Might have won another. Should bet force. Very much cut down.
स्लिपीले स्कारफेसलाई ढाल्यो नेड हानेर.
Another good nade coming through from Horror. They are working the angle.
नेक्स्ट वाइले आरएन भन्नेलाई मार्दै एनएसले एएक्सलाई.
Set up from AX. Henry has to make a hero maneuver on this one. Wraps up close. Molly over the top, smoke up front to provide some sort of cover for his teammate, but Tizzy peeks in from the top, struggling to get the quick reposition off and switch to the right gun for the job. Couldn't handle it. Cyrax in the back line now.
No fear, realistic some damage.
Not much vision to work off on this.
Oh, hello. This is a cool rotate coming through from Falcon. They wrap all the way from
Falcon ले जी खाइदियो यार यताबाट Falcon ले कति किल उठायो 5 किल उठाएछ
total. And they're
टोटल.
looking to clear up Nocturne Red Force on this third party. This is way more aggressive for the Falcons. They start to flap their wings a little bit.
Turning up the tempo, and it's what you want to see.
Falcon र एनएस को परिरहेछ. A7 हरु चाहिँ ढुक्क बसिरा होला. A7 पनि 4 जनै छ यार. होरको एकजना नक. बचायो होरको बचायो. होरो कम on.
Up close, Raph takes a bit of damage from the peak, but they do handle it. Koa spots that one with a UMP, and you stop Nonshin Red Force that were building a elimination game. 10 already, they're taken out of commitment. Second closest, of course, is now Falcons with 7.
Falcons,
because now they have control up towards the south side of Roswell. They also have Redux still holding that building on the northwest side. He holds his own. It's the first time we've seen a solo Falcon being able to do that. And that's really cool because now they have a lot of presence on the map here. Needs be they can wrap back around again. It's going to be a little bit awkward versus the arena, but it is possible. So they have two. The worst thing to happen here if it confirms fully northeast. That's the one thing they haven't accounted for.
And Alpha 7 as well, obviously in position for so long here down towards the compounds. A lot of nades being primed here.
They're ready for a crash, that's why. They know E Arena has to come across. They've heard the fighting on the south side as well. They're just priming them. That's a terrifying sight, by the way. 4 dudes, pin-pulled. Not a party I'm looking to get involved with.
A strike of Alpha 7 ready if you come running up towards the compound. of course, you've got that 2-2 split as well. Toxic and Loxy inside of the buildings. Cover to work with. Shots into the back line. Aura moving up. Fireflux starting to reposition as well. That's the duo that's left alive here. They've had a great day of it so far.
ECB to ECB EL the ठाउँनै नछोडी बसिरा रहेछ नि त यार
First will get knocked. Revo's got 5 nades, so plenty here.
ECB Falcon को लागि खाइदियो यार त्यसले किल खायो
The Falcons are going to find this tough, honestly.
वो ECB को ढल्यो है नेटले EL हाने त्यताबाट
The smokes haven't dissipated yet, so they can afford to stop short. There is a shot that goes through there as the arena sees that Alpha 7 is distracted.
Here's the problem though, it's not just nades from Alpha 7, now they're coming in from Aura as well, down on the roadside. Now Valo is eating a ton of damage. Ralph's forced to push further up to actually get himself into cover to play with. So both barrels being given here.
डर लाग्दैन FF with the right side on छ FF ले हान्दियो भने छैन
Just gets back up again. Tony K drops a nade, but it's long. They're in the kitchen. Needs to cook this nade to perfection. Ralph finding Revo, steals that one away, but it's Toshbik to take him out. It's all down to Redox. 6 teams, last circle.
Team last circle ले भने कति
Holds back only Mormon remains. They split on the push up.
Sky ले Redox से ढाल्दियो है
Onto Squash. Didn't go that way. Comes back to haunt them.
Oh, wow, still up actually. Didn't realize it. He's going to try and get placed.
Sleepy let ढाल्दियो छ त ल
Potential for it as well as everyone starts to get cut out on that northern side. Now Battle.
Sleepy ले मार्दिन यार
Maneuvers. Surprised he's even getting in here. Finds one off the back of it. Mafioso's down. Norman's still sending nades in.
Norman on the slow walk up. Headboard for the nade. Bounce round the corner. Squash gets flattened. Mormon makes a play. Potential for the follow-up as well. Close quarters combat.
कस्तो चिलमा बस्दिएको यार यो
Alpha 7 able to connect that back. Silence E Arena, but now Novello knows that he can make his move. Gets up close with the DBS. Oh! Huge kill.
ECB ले त जिहाल्यो त यार
Back into a position he can get.
होरो एकजना नक छ त को
Kaya still going strong with Loxy.
Sky knock भयो
Shots here. It might not be end of the world after all. Carrillo has to send a nade over. It's not perfect, but now he's got to make the cross.
नो फेयर त स्यान्डविच भइरहेछ यार भन्नै पर्यो भने
Carrillo going for it. The way Loxy. Taking opportunities where they're presented by Karia being able to play this one picture perfect with the opportunities that have been presented by other teams.
यो चान्स है ECB को नि एकजना छ
Sideline from no field.
RC
His name is pops up.
जित्यो
This is Loxy. There's the shot
जित्यो
back over.
होरोले जित्यो
Here it goes.
Aura played that game incredibly well. From the early rotate into the eastern side to push out slightly further up towards
त्यहाँ CR7 को रियाक्सन हेर्नु पर्ने के भएर होला
Red Force are cutting away at their opposition on the eastern edge, but shout out to
First
Loxy.
chicken dinner यार
I don't think the Red Empire would survive that long, and you do want Loxy as your final player on that team when it comes to those clutch moments.
Heads up calls. Reading it so well as well. Opportunities when everyone's attention was taken away from them. Like you said, subverting expectations. It was a brutal beginning for them. But they put it together. They piece away some points at the very least.
For Alpha 7, what a tough task they had there versus E Arena, Falcons on one side. Not an easy maneuver to make happen. Carrillo does survive it all. Could have been pretty sick if Narvalo hit that shot, but looks a lot better from the Falcons.
It certainly does. They're building. The wings have been spread, but the action is intense. So join us for more after the break.
जीवाले खतरा हान्ने रहेछ है जीवालाई नै फेरि खतरा हान्ने रहेछ पोइन्ट त ल्याम्मै आयो होला अब चाहिँ किल पनि आएको छ
Legionnaire available now. First outfit with special head animations and voice lines. The Pulsar Legionnaire set comes with its own super cute voice lines that can be toggled on or off.
What's happened? Hi, friend. Hello, Earth. I'm here.
It also features the upgradable Hyperion ship DSR. And Jet Reaver glider with special animations. Experience parachuting like never before. That's not all. Even more rewards await. Period July 25th, 2025 through August 26th, 2025. What are you waiting for? Get the new guild set now.
नाटक आयो सबैको अब फेरि जसले चिकन हान्छ तिनीहरूको नाटक आउनु रहेछ नि त
Well, no swimming required for Horror here. They have the perfect compound to transition into Rosok, getting themselves that win here as we have got the win. Game number 3 on the board.
गेम दाइ चाहिँ कहिले जाने त अब सिक्न वाच पार्टी मात्रै हानेर भएन अरे त्यस्तो
Looking fantastic.
ठिक
A team of this caliber. Hora, I have always talked about Hora. I like them a lot. I like how they play. They played it basically how I would normally expect them to. They had a really good compound, as we were talking about. We saw them sweep that edge and just wait until the perfect time to strike. Once that strike was there, they went for it.
And what I really enjoyed even before that, it was a 2-2 split that they were holding towards the east of the circle. They had an opportunity to actually third party a fight. I think it was Notcham Ramforce versus Scamex. They decided not to do that and just prioritize their game style. It worked out wonders for them, 19 points. And if we keep going down the list, I mean, it's good to see some of these names here at the top, Kyle. You got Alpha 7 with 13 points and Team Falcon as well there with 12.
They did something, no, I mean, of course, it's very
They did though.
सक्यो हेर्दैछौ कि भाग्यौ
AXTMG, 5 points, they got points.
Yes! The first 2 games, they got nothing. So we were hoping for a little bit of a step up from them, of course, here, and this is definitely a bit of a step up here, Natura.
It is. I actually really liked how they played the south side as well, right? They had a really nice split. They kept things going, but they didn't get too far out of bounds, right? They kept it together and held it, and they did a really good job.
And even before they ended up going towards the south there of Rosshog on the mountain, between that,
I
really enjoy what the party that they ended up doing between Regnum, Karya, and Kino. That was perfect, and it showed that this team is now starting to be proactive. They're not just waiting and being too patient, which is ultimately what you want to see out of a team that's now experiencing a global event once again.
All right, are we going to talk about Falcons again?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some really cool things actually happening. 7, of course. The rotations were amazing. Initially, I want to say, what do you think?
I mean, this right here, I felt like, and you kind of said it too, you said that this might have been the rotation of the tournament so far. I would definitely have to agree with that. I love that they did a 3-1 split too. They adjusted a little bit of what they were able to do in the last game, except this time they actually sent more players that could actually eliminate the rest of the squad. Great third party,
nice,
but even
nice.
before that, I enjoy what they did towards the north of Rosshog, because they were just controlling everything. They weren't letting anybody get close by.
And what I'm really enjoying from them as well is that they're learning from the group stage. They're not doing too much. They find a compound that they like. They make sure they hold that compound. And then that there's no risk of them actually getting taken apart unless there's a full-on crash, right, against them. But so far, they're actually keeping to themselves, keeping together, and saving themselves for that late game.
Yeah, and if I had to nitpick there on this last match for Team Falcons, it would be the execution there towards the end. They did have a great rotation, but when it came down to it, they were just sending one player by one. They sending Cole up first, hoping that he'll be able to do something, and then they just stopped in an area that you were just going to get grenaded. Max was calling it out too. I got a chance to see it. At that point, just go for a full crash.
Yeah. I mean, you've left one north, right? I get why they might want to do something like this, not only hunting down those elims Neptera, but also negating the problem in Rozhok finish because that's such a huge problem for these teams.
Yeah, it is a huge problem, and I really actually like the 1-3 split, as we were saying, right? Because it would allow them to have this pincer move going on. But I think maybe the way the zone was working or something, they actually, those 3 players on the south rotated down towards A7. They should have maybe gone onto the other side so they could do a pincer move with Redux on the north.
ECB टुकेर बसिरहेको थियो नि ECB ए एउटै पोजिसनमा के छोड्दै नसकेर जोन पनि त्यही परेको परे है
Welcome back to the main stage. I've got Koa from Team Falcons joining me here, and I tell you what, the consistency seems like it's back, Koa, because you've had 3 matches so far. All 3 have been in the top 5, 2 second places as well. What changed from the group stage to now in the survival stage? Because you guys, it feels like you're back.
Yeah, so we had meetings, we talked about our mistakes, and we picked them.
Simple, okay, that's simple and effective. You know what, Koa? I want to talk about you individually as a player because your impact since joining this team has been incredible. You've been MVP in PMSL season, and now you've come here and you're clutching up in highly intense moments, I would say. How do you feel like you've gelled with the team, and why do you feel like it works so well?
I think it works because the team has some structure, and then my job is
Your job is to go out there and farm the kills of what's happening now. So coming into the next 3 matches, are you guys just going to keep the strategies the same? Because it seems like it's working.
Yeah, we're going to keep all the same.
Koa, I like interviewing you, man. You're simple, you're to the point. I love it. Back to you guys.
Well, that is right. A very important place for Falcons, of course, to do well here, live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for PUBG Mobile World Cup. We can take a look at a moment or two here from Falcons as well, because they've really been a focal point here so far, Seven, kind of understandably in some moments.
I mean, let's even rewind it a little bit more.
ECBले यसरी ल्यायो YG-ले पनि यसरी लान्छ यो YG-को चाहिँ तर मिस्टेक हो कि यसरी जान यहाँ जान बित्तिकै भेटेको यता छ ECB यता छ हैन हान्दिहाल्यो के
And of course, the teams have to try and come in behind that and try and deal with what on earth is going on over there. Well, let's talk about some of these other teams, of course, here, Neptera, because Nongshim Red Force, of course, as well, in this game, they found themselves in a bit of the nitty-gritty and trying to get them. They've got themselves some points on for sure on the board. Once we'll take a look at the overall. But what do you think about Nongshim?
They're almost there. They're almost where I want them to be, because you saw them come in against who was it?
र 6 मा परिरहेको रहेछ है अहिलेलाई
and R8.
भर्खर 3 गेम भयो अझ 3 गेम बाँकी छ भोलि पनि छ भोलि नि 6 गेम बाँकी छ अहिले नै यतिमा भएर त हुँदैन कि त खतरै लिड हान्नु पर्यो हैन
The overall rankings, and actually it's very close still, even though we've had different teams doing different things at different times.
It is, and I mean, look at the 8th place ranked Karya. With this matches too, I mean, we're going to have some gaps here and there, but those teams can definitely close it up with just one match. I'm pretty sure we'll end up going there towards the second page. Something that I actually wanted to touch base with Nongshim is I enjoyed that.
Placement point there 18 लिएछ त
kind of just holding it down with the palm, just making sure that they were scouting everything, which allowed that third party that you were talking about, Nep. I wish that they would have actually went north. They wouldn't have needed to challenge for esports. I did not appreciate the south rotation when they ended up crashing on AXTMG. I felt like that was maybe a losing play. If they would have just gone north, played that edge on the river,
9-16 points.
Even more points.
We had a concerns about RA, I think, as well, Neptera.
Yeah, we did. I really liked how they played the north side, full control of the north side. If the zone had gone their way, they probably would have won, but they didn't, and they actually, instead of playing that same position that you were just talking about, Seven, they went ahead and crashed the compound, which seemed like just to stop any momentum they had built over the course of the game.
It was a concern. I mean, hitting that compound when it's not even going to be a focal point of the circle as well, Seven, seems a little bit dubious, a little bit odd, a little bit
It just comes down to experience from some of these teams. I feel like that's when you narrow it down. They wouldn't play for that team, would have been going towards the Western Bridge and just holding that down there. But I think maybe the proactiveness of Team Falcons might have scared them off a little bit more. But for them, I mean, if that's what you're gonna go with, it didn't end up working out for them. Maybe they'll be able to fix it up going to the next games.
That said, always difficult in an urban ending like that, of course. The road obviously causes a big problem. You're seeing how reluctant teams are to try and move from building to building. And that was what was really impressive about Horror. The actual sweep from building to building in this game here, Nepturo.
Yeah, it was. And again, you not only have the road in the middle, you actually have that road in between their compound and the rest of Rosov as well. So that's very open. I think Regman Karya had those buildings on the other side. So it was something where they had to cross over, and you can only do that by a full sweep the way Horror did. If you stop at any point, it's game over.
All right, well, thank you very much, guys. Time to head over to the stage once again as the lovely Veracity and Mr. Barney Banks are ready to go as well.
Welcome back to the Gadia Esports Arena, where we are halfway through day one of the survival stage. Tensions are high, and of course, so is the passion. But I'm here to bring you all of the highlights that we've had so far in day one. And of course, day one, we're kicking things off on Sandhawk. Sandhawk was extremely strong back with his two teams that came into a final showdown with Team Falcons and Fireflux Esports. Fireflux took that victory, and of course, some points along with it, 17 in total. But the Arena managed to secure 9 eliminations, so an honourable mention goes to them. Are you still up there?
Barney, if these players can make it through survival stage, I can too. I've had the best view in the house right now, Barney, and let me tell you right now, match 2 was proof of the fact that the Falcons were able to spend their day off in the most fabulous fashion ever, Barney. Yeah, don't worry about that. I've been snacking away. The Falcons, they've been sharpening their talons, Barney, to say the very least. They soared their way to the very top of our standings. And not only that, they managed to walk away with eliminations left, right and centre. But unfortunately, Fireflux Esports began clipping away at their wings. Our final fight, though, it saw Power Esports taking down the lone survivor representing the Falcons, and that was Cobra, marking the 3rd chicken dinner right here at this event for Power Esports.
Going into map number 3, Nongshim Red Force kicked things off extremely strong with 10 eliminations by stage 7 of that particular map. But in the end, it was Horror Esports that managed to clinch that victory and claim that chicken dinner for their own as well. So that's nice. A good amount of points for Horror Esports for us to see.
You know what, Barney? Enough chit-chat from us. I want to go ahead and dive into match number 4, baby. Let's do this.
Great to see Veracity finally getting down from the high ground. She was up there for a while, saw the banana peel, a whole bunch of candy. She was vegging out, but what else are you going to do when you're stuck on an island? Speaking of which, we're going into Erangel for map number 4, PMWC. It's been exciting today, truly. And the reason why is teams that didn't necessarily perform well during the group stage are really showing up in the survival stage. We've already witnessed Fireflux, right, get a victory, which was their first winner chicken dinner of the tournament. That includes their group stage performance. Now for Power, well, they sit at a total of 3, granted 1 for today. And Nora showing up and getting a win in game number 3 and doing it in sensational fashion, which puts the pressure, John, on so many other wonderful teams. Falcons, Alpha 7, right? Those teams looking to make it up to the top.
Absolutely. There is this really interesting dynamic that unfolds, right, when you take the best 8 teams out, well, best, you know, for now.
That's right.
Teams out of the lobby, it creates this vacuum, and that pulls in these teams from beneath them. It pushes them towards the top and creates a lot of turbulence. When you start to add those factors all together, it can get a little bit spicy, and that's what we've witnessed so far at the start of today. At the moment, we're looking at half the lobby going through to the finals at the end of these 2 days of the survival stage, and because of that, we're expecting the points boundary to be somewhere around that 70-point mark, and teams are starting to have achieved half of that already, and a lot of the teams towards the top actually already pushing over 30.
That's it. Over 30 is big, especially when you start to go down towards the bottom. We take a look at top 8, currently 8th place, Reckham Karya. Sitting with 16 points around there anyways. They're going to have to definitely step it up. They're on the bubble, at least at the moment. It's still early goings. 3 more games today, 6 more tomorrow to determine our top 8 and, of course, our bottom 8. But if you're Kinetro, Intense Game, Influence, Rage, and, well, really the list goes on, you've got to be a little bit worried, but you can't be too much in your head. Again, there's still time but time will eventually run out. Heading into Game 4, our last airing of the day. Before we hop into Miramar, it's going to be exciting. We've seen some great city finishes already as it stands. Now I'm hoping we get a little bit of the military zones.
That Key Crusher is hungry, and we have only one way to feed it. It's crunching through these survival stages, and we will be heading in to Arangel once more. All 64 of our players locked and hopefully loaded into the plane from Lipovka over towards the southwest side, over towards Quarry. Plane path fairly chilled out right now. Lovely little dog decal there on the back wing of the plane. He's having a great time. Not so much for our players on the inside, though.
Flying high, flying high. Okay, so plane path looks pretty good, pretty standard. Everybody wants to go wherever they want to go. Pretty much has free reign to do so. George Paul obviously going to see quite a bit of activity up there with Alpha 7 and Co. Americas regions loving that location. For the rest, though, military, I'm feeling it in my bones, John. I think this next zone is about to be spicy. I'm hoping I'm right, but I hope I just cast a curse.
It's a bones-based feeling here.
I'm feeling it.
And we're going purely off the vibe.
That's it.
That's exactly what we're here for. That's the only way to go.
You said the word.
Purely, yeah, and well, you know, I had to fill out that bingo card. Heading on out to the northwest side, I reckon. You know, Zaki circles. That's my bones-based vibes play.
Okay. I wouldn't mind Zarki. I think Zarki's great. Again, a couple of teams that notably love to go out there. Actually, speaking of which, let's talk about Alpha 7 typically goes towards Zarki. Georgia Pool, Lipovka is where they decide to go this time around. Well, we don't get either, but we do get right in the middle of what we were predicting. I'm still happy with this, and it's going to benefit quite a few other rosters. For example, the Arena Kinnetrop going to be feeling quite happy. Power, who's had a standout day, currently sitting in third place, 31 points, and well, let's not forget also getting that Game 2 winner chicken dinner on Arangel, now set up quite nicely to potentially do just the same in game number 4. They'll be central at the moment, a bit spread out, but plenty of time to get together. For Yangon Galactica, they are going down towards military to start looting up and also, of course, get their vehicles. Now, for them, though, maybe a potential to go over to the Western Bridge, maybe a scuffle with Kinnetrop, maybe R8, but still early going, and I'm not seeing any hot drops at the moment.
No, there aren't going to be too many right now. The plane path cutting straight through the middle allows a lot of access to places. I mean, obviously, the Alpha 7 relocation to Lipovka, going to that backup drop, it really just opens things up. If they'd have stuck to their guns and tried to go to North George, there would have been a hot drop on some of those vehicles out the west side, so a reasonable adjustment there. Honor and Influence Raid probably the closest by to one another right now, up towards Yasnaya, but it looks like they're just sort of keeping each other at arm's distance. They don't want to get too aggy with it, and I think rightly so. Certainly when you have a numbers advantage, don't want to push too hard, and Influence Rage as well, just looking to keep things calm, especially down in that 12th place. They want to get out of this early drop into those later game rotations.
Falcons also pretty much dead center. They have nobody around them, at least at the moment. They've had a stellar day. We talked about it throughout the group stage. Falcons, bit of an underperformance, right? Needing to step it up in the survival stage where their tournament lives are at risk. It would be weird, I must say, not to see Team Falcons representing in the final stages in that Smash Point competition, but they're doing very, very well. We mentioned 70 being the cutoff. They've already surpassed the halfway point. They still have a little bit more work, but let's face it, Falcons, if they can perform well in these back end of 3 games or 6 today, they can absolutely qualify based off the day one.
The thing that's very encouraging about the Falcons' performance right now that maybe isn't attributed to the other teams that sit around them is that they've done this through consistency, right? They haven't won a game yet. They have just been consistently getting into the top 5, right? And that is a great result for the Falcons to be able to have that spot available to them. The downside of what I've seen from them today is that there have been good rotations, good decisions being made. Yes. The mechanical execution of them has been subpar. Specifically, I think it's safe to say Ralph has had a couple of missteps, and I think Narvalo as well, obviously going down a lot earlier in the game than they would have liked to. You can attribute that to getting a little bit too bold on the scouting, or maybe less of a mechanical issue, but I do think there are still a few wobbles here and there, and hopefully they can get themselves nice and steady, because it's working right now. The question is, will it work if they go to the finals, when you bring back those top 8 teams?
Yeah, and that's a question, right? That's a question they're going to have to ask themselves when they do head into the finals. Obviously, the task at hand now is just top 8. And well, speaking of one of those teams who's close to the bubble, is the team that obviously is coming in with squash this time around, but regardless, the returning champions, the heroes of the Americas region,
On live my air.
well, I would be again
Just
like
live my subscribe and
7 representing themselves. They're in the Smash Point group or finals just coming up next week. But for Alpha 7, they're still relatively healthy. I do feel like they have gotten punished at multiple moments, but for now, I'm not too worried about them. I think they're going to be just fine out. For other teams from the Americas region, Influence, Rage, Intense Game, I do start to get a bit worried. I don't think they are performing well. And you go back to Influence, Rage during the group play, specifically their performance during Day 1 group play for them, I felt they were coming in hot. I thought they looked great. But survival stage, nothing like their group play performance.
Oh, I mean, it does really change the dynamic, as I mentioned before, right? When you are taking out those top 8 teams in every single match, no matter which groups we're in, you're expecting there to be about 5, maybe 6 of those teams in the top 8 to be playing in the lobby, and removing those teams has really changed the dynamics here. And teams have taken advantage of that. And like you were highlighting there, some teams have had to eat mud. On the flip side, right? Because you have to for a team to do better, another team has to do worse, right? Swings around about.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Well, I will say Team Vision also another roster that surprised me being so far down. You go back to group play, they were performing incredibly well, having plenty of highlight moments. Were they in the top echelon? No, but Vision still a team that is struggling. Reckham Karya now in a fight against AXTMG and Silas, a guy who, again, is trying to create history for himself. He's already has a large history of performances and great moments throughout PUBG Mobile history. He's currently trying to get, so that's a big opening elimination for him. And for AXTMG, the struggles live on.
I think Reckham Karya are looking weak this tournament in a way that couldn't be said, I think, for Alpha 7 or Falcon.
Sure.
They haven't really been in these positions to really take too much. They earned a couple of points on a few of the days, but obviously they're here in the survival stages. And I'm hoping that they can stand up, like you said, with Silas having that PMGO victory, having that PMGC victory under the belt. Adding that third would be the first player in history to do so. But at the moment, they need to piece it back together, especially coming off of a weak season back in Europe, right? These guys only qualified because they had that extra qualification spot from winning PMGO at the start of the year. So the fact that they're only here because of that earlier performance, it does add questions to this roster. And right now they're on 8th place. So they would, if things close down now, be going through. And I think I would be disappointed not to see them go through. But they do still have a long way to go. And when they're put back in the fold with the 8 teams already qualified, the same thing's true as what I said for the Falcons, right? There are those questions.
Ruins currently one team over in this location, Influence Rage skirting just to the north side for them. But getting quite contested towards the middle as we would expect. Reckham Karya being one of them. Dead center. Power as well. Haven't really done too much, but you wouldn't expect them to. They're centered. They're happy where they're currently at. For Kinatrope, well, they've got people all around them. But again, same situation. Nobody really to fight at the moment. Potentially Nogsham Red Force a little bit later, who, mind you, I've been very, very impressed with. Had a chance to speak with Vinny yesterday. Super impressed with his mindset. He wants to be the best, and well, this tournament is one of the ways to prove it. Well, here we go. Going south now. It does shift just a bit, which could benefit Yangon Galacticos, who could potentially stay over on the military side if they don't want to fully commit for the bridge rotate. But it also puts them at risk of getting gate-kept by R8 Nogsham Red Force. That's one of the things they're going to have to consider.
A lot of teams now looking to make their move. A hard south shift forces teams to rotate at the same time. I'm seeing Fireflux moving into the hills to the south of Pachinki there. Nogsham Red Force actually regrouping to the compound that sits over that long hillside that borders the south edge of this circle, where R8 currently take up occupation. Fireflux actually rotating away. Looks like they're going to try and push into the east side of that, and all of these teams from the north going to try and move on top of each other. It is intense game. It is Alpha 7 moving in this area. You Power as well, who are a little bit ahead of the curve, and Influence Rage actually, three-peat of the Americas teams. And when you only have one good team in the region, well, you know who you want to see get out of it.
Yeah, this is going to be weird because, like you said, you got all three Americas region teams, ironically, just right next to each other. You would, I guess, expect that with similar play styles, kind of similar mindsets, obviously from the same region, but it seems like they kind of do this invisible handshake. You go on your way, I'll go on my way, they'll go on their way, and we'll avoid each other for the time being. But as deeper as influence rate starts to go, closer and closer, they start to get the power.
Fireflux did actually turn around. They're now still in those hills, but it's Gamax, it's Yangon Galacticos who have now crossed the bridge as well on the south side of the circle, who are poking their noses in. You've also got Irina, who've sent a scout down south. But now Alpha 7 have actually cut off that retreat. On the north side, Aura, Influence Rage now clashing, trying to take position.
Rage, great shot, Sleepy from a distance, though, takes Little Boy all the way down to just a sliver of health. He's most likely going to be finished off relatively soon. I don't foresee pops, but still, they've again struggled so much throughout the survival stage. Their ground, not to mention, also starting to come in for a bit of a third party, and No Fear is gone.
A nice little flex out there from Al Haji, puts the stone in, gets the result it's looking for, adds a point to the tally. Now actually going to put more pressure on. They're moving down, and Influence Rage playing with 4. They're locked into the building. They're surrounded by E-Arena and by Power now, who have pushed Easy actually very, very close to this situation. That was a bit too bold, and I think they've read into that. They will pull it back, fold it back into the rest of the team.
E-Arena being on the outskirts scares me, however, for Influence Rage. Such a talented roster. They have really proven themselves throughout not only their second day of group play, but also throughout the
Skyron Sleepy
zone will shift once again. Alpha 7 very, very safe where they currently are. Safe store E-Arena power around. The tense game, though, might have promising their location. We get on board with the fight going down. IG versus Power. I believe be a 3v4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, currently that's how it sits. Power were a little bit split, but it looks like they're regrouping. They do have that off angle just across the way. They can hit over towards Easy from Silence, and he's quieting him down pretty nicely there. Al Haji holding the flank still against Influence Rage. Don't worry about the inside. Business from Fidan.
Easy control. Have the
challenge down the alleyway, but both of them back off the angle.
Power easy dolly. Ragnar out this गाड़ी में. Ragnar danger है यार अभी कस्तो clutch आने हैं एक जाना लाइक. अन्य यालाजी खतरा छ यार यालाजी ने. यालाजी Ragnar दामी छ. Easy पण खतरै छ यार. त्यो power को. Kuko छ ना हामी. Comment
earlier on in last week's games, but today
कुरा गर्दै हेरौँ न. It's alright.
Some cheeky chicken dinners. They've been able to now get in.
हाम्रो यार Skyron No Fear मरे नि. Shit भयो. Shit 0 छ यार यसपालि point. ओए फाल्नु खतरा हान्छ त यो PSN को ले. M4 man.
Stragglers to be the scouts for the rest of the trio. Whoever's out. First it was Redux in Alaska. We were talking about him, and now this time it's Ralph, who's, well, potentially in no man's land. I say that, but here comes the rest of the roster trying to pick him back up. Getting Ralph back into the fight, being a 4-man unit, is definitely going to be the way they want to go.
Ragnar पनि डेन्जर छ. अघि मै 1v2 क्लच हान्थ्यो.
Forward duo for Falcons have a position in this next circle. Koa and Novalo looking to try and stanchion them down. Try and keep things under control here, Koa. Puts pressure. The res was sent over towards Ralph. He's up there in a vehicle now, and they can rotate away. Vision actually not opting to crash onto that position.
Falcon नि दामी रहेछ यार.
And split Falcons off from their forward duo.
Now it's a question of power, and they want to continue to push the issue, and I guess not at the moment.
मोरले point भयो नि उठाउनु पर्यो. अब दुई जना मात्र छ गाडी पर्छ हैन. Point भयो नि उठाउनु पर्यो के त्यही भएर.
shots at Ralph. The early knock that they got a little bit earlier, now trying to get the finish. Influence Rage also in the area, and they're going full send. AXTMG also off in the line of sight. So this is getting a bit chaotic in the open
Sleepy
field,
Arisa.
as they are pretty much dead center of the zone.
Jiggle
Everybody's going to be
Leta.
collapsing in, and now Jiggle from Ora. Regis, you've got Silas
जिगोले ढाल्दै रहेछ नि त नअफलाई तर आरी जिगोले किल चोर्दै यार त्यो नअफलाई नअफको जिगलले ढाल्यो तर किल चाहिँ तर जिगलको वान आयो त जिगलले नै किल आउँछ हो त्यो नखाने पनि किल चोर्नु नपायो यसमा के कसो हो अनि यस यस हाने जिगलले मान डेन्जर यसो रन पर्यो नि यार केटाहरू अनि पो मजा आउँछ त लाइभमा के भर्खर त्यहाँ रस्मे भन्नेको 100K पुऱ्याइदियो CR7 ले यार हाम्रो केटाहरू भने पनि चाड बराबरको सपोर्ट गर्दैन यार के भन्ने
advantage in that moment, and then you decide to pull away, allow Falcons to get the res, and then full send it in the middle of 5 teams. No, that just doesn't make sense, and well, clearly they are struggling today as they just sit at the very bottom with only 2 points. Hopefully they'll start to get it together.
एक point भन्ने उठाए है अहिलेलाई टप 5 मा चाहिँ पुग्नु पर्यो के भएर
Power, you also have influence rage as well. It's going to be pretty tight up towards the northern side of the zone. The first team to get in might be able to play gatekeeper, but for the time being, everybody's got a lot of space.
अस्तिदेखि PUBG हेरे भएर यार मलाई PUBG खेल्न मन लागिसक्यो यार
out in the open vast area, which is the zone.
Yeah, that hillside to the south edge, that tree-covered hill ridge that currently R8 sits on, that Fireflux is sitting on as well.
पावर को एकदमै डेन्जर खेल्दा छ यार आज अनि कलेजले हेर न के आँखा चिमिक माल गए भन्दिएको त्यसलाई त EX ले मार्यो है INF को लाई फाल्गुनले यहाँबाट सुन यसको स्कार लिएर रहेछ स्कार र डिभिएस रहेछ केएन को चाहिँ कहाँ गाडी लिएर घुमिरा हो त्यो पावरले अलिक सुताइदिन्छ त्यसलाई त्यहाँ बगीमा त घुमिरा छ यार केएन को 4 जनै बाँकी छ I0 VSN मात्र इलिमिनेटेड छ गामक्सलाई हान्दियो यार FF ले गामक्स को एकजना नक
of power, and I think I owe their success to, again, them being on the same page, sticking together. It's hard to take on a full force unit, but teams now start to settle down a little bit. Kinnetrop is going to go ahead and take over the west, or should be eastern side zone. Power will start to move in. AXTMG still running on fumes, but Henry may be looking to make a solo play against Power once they rotate in. We'll see what he can do.
Has got a forward position to assist with him in Cyrax, but they are very, very split, and in the open fields, it is going to be a difficult crossing. Power move.
AX को कतिजना बाँकी हो 2 जना बाँकी रहेछ त्यो एकजना गयो भन्दा गाह्रो पर्छ एक्स लाई पावर ल INF ले घेरेको हेर न पावरले अब्बे यो त म बत्ती गरेन भने यिनीहरुले ओइ ओइ हान्दियो इजीलाई ढाल्यो किले हान्दियो क्या हो र्याग्नरलाई पनि ढाल्दियो AX ले यताबाट पछाडबाट हान्दियो यार आलेजी पनि ढल्यो 1 भर्सेस 1 है 1v1 लिल बोय की फाइदा ल छिराइदियो मली ओइ त्यसले खतरा रोटे ओए मातुरी INF ले बल हान्दैन त यार घेर्न आथ्यो ल फाल्कोन आइसकेछ सेट फाल्कोनले यामा मस्ती हान्ने भयो त INF को हेर न त्यो लिल बोय अब्बी ओए के हानेले पागल हाने त ओए माने यार मैले त्यसलाई यो लिल बोय मातुरी येले A7 को काजिलोले ढालेछ मार्दिनु न छ है मोरम्यानले मार्दिहाल्यो काजिलो डेड डिडी डेड A7 को 3 जना उधर बाकी ओए होरको के हो एकदम झन्डै मरेको रहेछ होरको मा हेल खाएछ लिलम्यानले भर्खर डेन्जर हान्दैन त
Josh taking a lot of damage.
Oye, ये की कसर छिरा हो यो ये माधुरी साकुराले त एकैचोटी ढाल्दैछ जोकरले खाइदियो जोकर र मोरम्यानले हान्दैछ P7 eliminate अनि जोकर र साकुरा त नक्ने ओए छिटो उठा यार त्यो दुई जनै हो खतरा फेरिमा मोरम्यान नै खतरा छ होरको मरेछ त यार एकजना ल जिगल मरेछ नि यार स्लिपी मात्र बाँकी ल स्लिपीलाई पनि हान्दैछ eliminate हो र एक पोइन्ट मात्र लियो यार त
Falcons were all held down
भएन
three on the minimap there on Narvalo, but now with that flex out they have those off angles. They now need to rotate back on in. See the vehicles they got available to them though, and they should be able to make this
Falcon
the arena will maybe split the difference between them. Narvalo
power out भयो भने 6 छ यार elimination तिनीहरुको
with that split. Noxious Red Force still dead center by the way. They're going to play it in big impact.
त्यो लिलबोयले क्लच चाहिँ बवाल हान्दै है
To the stages. All right, team that just like others have been struggling quite a bit, opposite of another team that is relatively low.
YG नि राम्रो छ तर आज पत्तुर भइरा छ यार यिनीहरुको गेम पत्तुर त के हो नि नमिलिरा छ अलि लकले साथ दिइरा छैन YG लाई YG कि त राम्रो खेल्ला मलाई त राम्रो लाग्यो यार टिम
I'm thinking he can at least start to hurt All Right a little bit, which could open up the door for Young Galacticos to potentially get a clean win here.
What they'll be looking for here. Gamax trying to push in on the southeast side in the meantime as Fireflux try and hold their own.
Dinner.
So far.
Need ball खेलाइदिने यार यिनीहरुले त.
You're chiming in across the way from the north side. But now down to 3 confirmed. Gamax playing with just the one. It may not be enough to take down Fireflux, but damage has been done.
Hello, Gamax Arthur भन्ने खतरा छ एकजना त्यसलाई हान्दिसकेछ.
Towards Yangon Galacticos, it really does entrench.
ये पनि eliminate भएछ.
Fireflux alive a little bit longer, starting to push up towards
अनि नेट हेर न नेट मात्र उडेको आम्बो
in the thick of it.
पुरै होली खेले जस्तो नेटको त फेका फेके यताबाट पनि फेकेछ उताबाट पनि फेकेछ हैन ल खाइदियो नि जबरजस्ती खाइदियो मान्दरे AX पनि eliminate AX भनेको चाहिँ इन्डियाको टिम
aggressive and man from one team to another they now push up onto Kenotrop. Question is, do they know they're sitting in the weeds?
They have managed to spot that first knock, right? So they know that there is a team there.
eliminate भएपछि हेर्नै झ्याउ लाग्ने यार
It would be a very viable team to try and take out, but
तर चाहियो
expose them to non-ship Red Force, who have
को बाकी छ
since the start of phase
YG RKN RG NS Falcon FF
right? One Elim, very quiet, difficult to leave if they had to rotate away, but they have control over so much of this open ground now.
Without a doubt, and not to mention playing gatekeeper to Fireflux, playing gatekeeper to Yangon Galacticus, who's going to have to move into them potentially. So I expect to be at 5 eliminations relatively soon if they can do everything right. They're already in a very healthy spot, just 4 points away from taking over first place. R8 has been tempting this fight opposite of Falcons for quite some time. They managed to stay up. They, of course, only have 3 members, but you can do a lot of damage with 3. But you mentioned Noxious Red Force playing the gatekeepers, and well, Damar's going straight into him.
Thank you भयो किन हल्ला हो यो कमेन्ट्री को
Keep an edge, and it looks like they're going to let him play on this wall for now, but the Falcons might have something to say about that. Damar maybe
त्यो YG को कुन गाडी हो यो YG ले चलाइरहेको गाडी त्यो के हामीले हान्छ नि माथि त्यो भन्नै आएन मलाई त्यो गन त्यो ड्रप झार्ने गनको नाम के हो बिर्सियो त यार मैले त्यो ड्रप झार्ने गनको नाम त्यो रातो के त रातो गन नामै बिर्सियो त अघि के हो थियो ल म्याप दिले के गन भन्छ त्यो रातो गन ड्रप झार्ने गन
to take the third party or go head to head. For Fireflux, they can in fact wrap around the eastern
NS
side.
त्यही रहेछ NS पनि 4 जना छ यार
or they can decide to push. Right now, they're just
YG कुन 4 रन छ YG ले हान्नु पर्यो खै आज YG ले हान्नै सकेको छैन
I'm wrapping around. I don't want to full send it. I don't want this third party, but maybe they do.
लिल बोले 4 खाएर छ यो गेममा अनि क्लोज हान्यो स्माइलले यस बिनी यो सबसे डरलाग्दो हान्याले यसलाई हो बिनी ढाल्दियो दामी है इलिमिनेट हान्दियो एनएस लाई एकजना बाँकी रहेछ वाइजी खतरा हो नि ल एनएस यो डक्सीले भेट्यो स्यान्डविच यता एफएफ छ यता वाइजी छ तर एफएफ एकजना ढाल्दैछ त यार त्यसले नेटको बर्सात अब ओए डक्सी बच्यो यार डक्सी अझै बचिरहेछ नाइस
Forces it back into the inside of the building. Yango Galacticos and R8 are
मटका
each other right now, which means that this is a 1v1.
फ्लेयर गन मलाई ठ्याक्क अब भइहाल्यो फ्लेयर गन
Play on from there. Yango Galacticos successful on the first crash, but R8 challenging them now on the angle. Playing with
योगी वाइजीले कुदाएर गाडी फ्लेयर गनको गाडी हो त्यो
ever closer as time goes on, but finally Narvalo has a knock sent his way. They'll have to slow it down just for a
हान्न यही छ त नेट फेक्दै म्यानहरु
Disengaging, going to the shed. That's going to give them great.
यो आरजी को एक्लै यहाँ बसिरहेछ यार यो घर टॉयलेटमा म्यानहरु
They are in dire straits. You already got one player.
आरजी को 4 जनै छ त्यो एक्लै चाहिँ किन छुटिरहेको
Relatively weak. You got, of course,
ला ढाल्दियो मार्दियो नि
nowhere to go. The only thing you can do is hit the dirt. Regnum Karya, you mentioned them.
केएनको कतिजना बाँकी 2 जनै बाँकी रहेछ केएनको वाइजी को 3 जना भयो त्यहाँ कि रिभाइभ हान्न नभएको
Silas lands an aid right on their heads there now with one player left.
यो आरजी को के एक्लैले खाइदिरायो केएनलाई
Entirely. Ooh, nearly getting that full knock, but Silas has to disengage. He is going to have to fall back to the rest of his team. Only one nade left, and you want to be saving that for a little bit later, especially in these open fields. They are so valuable.
Without a doubt, but they also have a drop, so that's going to be big for them as well. Falcons still on the outskirts. R8 starting to tease them a bit with a couple of shots. It's going to be tough to take down R8. Obviously, Falcons keep them at bay. You still got Yangon Galacticos, who's going to be just behind you. And the Fireflux Matcap, I believe, is down and out.
Fireflux out and NS को त्यो एक्लैले डक्सीले यार बचिरहेछ भने अझै पनि त्यो त
Red Force, one player remains. That's going to be Doc, who heroically stayed alive on the second floor building of where he currently is. Now, for Falcons, are they potentially making a push, or are they making a rotation?
अरे फाल्कन लो यो डमरले खतरा हान्छ भने डमरले यार त्यस्तो ढाल्दिएको फाल्कनको त्यो लेफ्ट साइड एकजना छ के र टलिरा हो र त्यो हो टलिरा हो क्या हो त्यो हो त नक रहेछ मार्चले पनि हान्दा रहेछ आरेटको यताबाट डमरले नि हान्दा छ पागल हानेन भने यिनीहरूले भर्खर तर ओपनमा पनि थियो तिनीहरू है 4वटा टिम बाँकी थियो एनएस को एकजना अझै बचिरहेछ यार यो के हो यो त्यो यार यो टेट्रिस भन्ने गेम
All eyes on Regnum Karya, who have to push through an open space.
This is survival stage bhayरहेछ अहिले
It's just a mad dash forward.
Sir.
Can they even make any headway? All right, Yangon Galacticos stuck from Nogsham.
नेट हाने हेर नि बम मात्र फेकिरहेको त्यो नेट भन्दा नि फ्ल्याश फेकिरहेको स्मोक अनि स्मोक फेकिरहेको पुरै होली खेले जस्तो स्मोक के हो यो त माथि बादलले बनाइदिएछ त ओए क्लच हान ओए रस हान्यो केटाहरुले आरजीले रस हान्यो आरजीको अझै ढलेको छैन एकजना पनि नन्नी आरजी सिधाइदिया हो त सिधाइदियो आरजीलाई ओए खतरा रस हान्दैन त यो बल रस हान्दियो त यार आरजीले त आम्बो माधुरी माका चोद पुरै माका दुध पिएराछ यार यिनीहरूले त यो एनएस को डक्सी हेर न कहाँ लुकेर बसिरहेछ एक्लै त्यसले जित्दियो भन्दा त मा हेरेर हुन्छ सबजना वाइजी को 3 जना आरजी को 4 जना एनएस को 1 जना 8 जना बाँकी
those very rosters. Doc, though, give him credit, man. Staying alive is just massive in this moment. The question is, who wants to make the first move? I don't know just yet, but with the way that Regnum
RG त जोसमा छ यार मलाई त वाइजीले जितोस् भइराछ है भन्नाले चिकन डिनर
perhaps they want to try and take the wall side of this compound. You could potentially be there. It's fairly nadeable, which makes it a little bit dangerous depending on what sort of utility Yangon Galacticos are going to be working with. But having that angle that controls the open courtyard to the north side of this Yangon Galacticos building would be absolutely huge. But for now, Regnum Karya are going to allow themselves a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room, get those healing ticks back up from those stims. They also don't know where this last solo player is, which means that they're probably wary as to where
यसले मिसफायर गरेर त्यो भिजन त्यो गरेर यार तिनीहरुले चुकाउनले
allowing his teammates to just focus on what's in front of them. You do not want to get flanked, and there is a
के हानि नै रह्यो हो कताबाट यसले त हान्दा हैन रहेछ
down to where Wild is currently at. That would basically spell the ending of
जोन
this
त
fight.
इत्रु भइसक्यो
I have to question how annoying Doc is going to be in this moment, though. I think Doc is a solo. I really think he's
डक त चुप लागेर बसिरहेछ सासै नहेरी
Regnum Karya start to collapse into each other. Silas is starting to make a move, and he is taking that advanced position, which is great. But Doc knows this, and Doc.
कसको कति पोइन्ट छ भाइ
Galactic is moving in. Cloud and Doc potentially about to square off.
Silas opening the building.
डक्सी हेर न एक्लै बजिरहेछ वाइजी को 3 जना आरजी को 4 जना तर वाइजी ले डक्सीलाई त्यस्तो हान्न नगाइनु नि तर मार्न त मार्यो ठिकै छ ल धन्न आरजी को 4 जना वाइजी को 3 जना बाकी हो रको 26 थियो जस्तो लाग्यो 26 27 भयो होला एक यो गेमबाट चाहिँ एक मात्र पायो ल आरजी को ढाल्यो नेटले ओए ओए वाइजी कमन मलाई त वाइजी ले चिकन खाओस् भइराछ है यो गेम ओए आरजी को 2 जना नक वाइजी को 3 जना बाकी ओए वाइजी को 1 जना नक भयो क्या भएन दामी दामी ओए वाइजी ले खतरा हान्दैन त मैले अघि हजुर स्ट्रिम खोलेर छोड्या थिए ए ठीक नो शेयरले कडा हाने जोस रेन ठीक वाइजी ले खायो यो आरजी ले मिस्टेक गरे यार 3v4 को मुनि नसके हैन न के मिस्टेक भने यो यंगन ग्यालेक्टिकोसले म्याच डेन्जर नेट खेलाइदियो यार नाइस बच्चाहरु नि चारै जना बच्चाहरु ठीक अन्य दियो है दियो
You know what? In the end, it felt like Regnum Karya maybe gave a little bit too much leeway to Yangon Galacticos. They played.
Point अब आइहाल्छ नि भाइ अब point अहिले अब हेरौँला नि त सँगै बसेर के छ र बच्चाहरु नि यत्रो बच्चाहरु यार त्यहाँ गएर खेलिरहेछ यार पैसा कमाइरहेछ यार गेम खेलेर त्यहाँ डलरमा मादर जात इनर चाहिँ फेरि हेर्दा मात्र बुढोहरु हो इनर चाहिँ धेरै भयो 24-25 वर्ष होला इनर त्यही त एक चिकन त मिठो हान्दियो त्यो गेम चाहिँ राम्रो खेलाइदियो हेर नि त नेट खेलाको माथुरीहरुले होली खेले जस्तो भने अन्य त्यो नेट ताकिरहेको थियो यताबाट गनले दिइहाल्यो तीन जनाले खाइदियो यार नाइस यतिको चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो के एड आको यस्तो Lenovo Legion ल ये पिस लिदा भन्छ भनौं ल्यापेक्सलाई FF पावर हो र देखेर छ यंगन ग्यालेक्टिको अहिलेको चिकन चाहिँ यंगनले खाएको फर्स्टमा FF ले खायो सेकेन्ड पावर थर्ड हो र फोर्थ सेकेन्ड चाहिँ हाम्रो YG Nice try.
The highly anticipated addition to the Mummy Series outfits is here. Paired with the new Ice Tube Glider, the Polar Spectral Phage set is just what you need to freeze your enemies. Or set them ablaze with the Inferno Feed set's new upgradable cheap Inferno Uzi. All the Mummy outfits are back. Get them all. Join now and collect the whole series to turn all eyes on the battleground. Event period, July 10th, 2025 through September 2nd, 2025.
के छ सिमटसको जम्मै त हामी
Hadi oğlum. Beraber. Bir canım bunda. Bekle oğlum, beni bekle, beni bekle. Bekliyorum. Basıyor, can basıyor mu? Yok, basmıyor. Nice! Nice oğlum, bak! ورا المكان عمالي يمين يمين فتح
انا صيد نيت
خش في ده نايس بس ها بنلعب ما يتلوك يسعون يجيب الزون
يجيب الزون ابو فهد ها
يجيب الزون ها
انا بعدي ما بيك
راجع خلي مونجون
انا ما بيك انا
ايوه خلي مونجون ولا ورا
ماشي يلا
سيبها حجي كلنا هناك
Yangon goes absolutely celestial here from Galacticos as they have brought the big bang at the very end and getting themselves the win here at the PMWC at the EWC. Of course, brilliant win from them coming in for the last Erangel of the day. I've got 7 as well as Nectar to talk about this one. It's absolutely intergalactic coming in from Yangon. Just space puns.
Yeah, space puns. We gotta hold space for that one for a second. Yeah, very nicely done. No, but I think they're very good. I know that's lame. Stop it. Don't laugh at me. What I'm trying to say is
teams are very good.
No, they're all very good.
10 out of 10.
But are they all very good with those nades? Because Regnum working very good to actually just overtake and just storm through that compound. And Yangon went, I don't think so. We have nades. We have nades and we have a lot of them. We don't even need our weapons.
It sounds like you right now. Accent. What's going on? Actually, the more I've talked to them over this few days, she starts talking about, I don't know about that, James. I'm like, stop it, stop making fun of me. What's going on?
Really not.
It's like, but yeah, I was actually really impressed with not only just the names, the proactiveness that they showed throughout that match. I mean, even if you rewind it earlier on, the push that they did on non-ship Red Force, that was the impressive part. Them being able to now control that, making sure that the last player for non-ship Red Force backed up. I mean, Yango Galacticos, 19 points for that team. And Regnum Karya, the way this team was playing, Neptura, just doors and nose, sweeping everything, getting all those eliminations too.
I really loved how they played this, and 1-3 split through the field, just trying to hedge all their bets against the other teams in the field. And then we were talking about the smoke road that they were doing, that blockade of smokes, not telling any team where they're going at any one time. They were like, we're not going to hint at anything. You have no idea where we're going next, and it worked very well for them.
Definitely, with all these teams getting ready to get into Miramar now as well, but we've got more to talk about, of course. That compound, that farm compound, Nomsham Red Force, of course, technically, early on, has the lockdown on this compound, but it's a case of, do you have it too early? Because for me, Seven, it felt like the rest of the lobby knew exactly how to dismantle them.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down a little bit. No, the thing is, I agree with you, but I feel like that team just fell asleep in a way. Because they got an R8 being able to be the first team that pushed them, right? And then they kind of gave away that warehouse. After that, the team was just super passive. They created pretty much a nice little 2-2 between those teams. Yeah, okay, you stay over there, we stay over here, and they just weren't ready for any type of push. And that's when Yango Galacticos just took full care of it. Like, you need to see that proactiveness. And I was actually hoping that Regnum Karya was going to end up winning this match because they were being so proactive. Not only just with the sweeping, as you mentioned, the smokes that they put out as well, but the reaction of Yango Galacticos there towards the end, making sure they swept around as well, got all the nades ready, got all the knocks, is what got them the win.
Yeah, and I want to go back just a little bit further back into the mid game, right? Yangon making that initial push. I have so much to say about that because Nongshin really fumbled there, right? You had R8 with that one solo, Damar coming into the compound. Nobody was touching that compound. Everybody was too scared of it, right? Damar comes in and goes, actually, I'm going to test the waters a little bit. And Biddy's like, oh, my bad. Sorry. Didn't know you were there. It's cool. And he immediately backs off. So R8 see that, go, oh, well, they're not really all that scary. They push in, Yangon go, oh, they've given them all that space. Well, we might as well sandwich them while we're at it. And Nongshin actually told the entire lobby, all the teams around them, that actually we're in a weak position. We're not going to defend this, so you can come and walk all over us. And it's just in that tiny little thing of Vinny just moving back slightly. There wasn't this strong push over towards Damar and shut that down immediately. If they had done that, they would have won the game, I think, because it's just nobody would have touched them after that.
Let's take a look at head-to-head here then, brought to you by the Saudi National Bank as Team Falcons in #1 and Yangon Galacticos. A very important win for them, will move them up into 8th place here, 7, as Yangon was able to wrestle away the compound from everybody else and go, what, how did they go?
Yeah. But it's an impressive play. I want to see Falcons continue doing what they've been doing. Because in that last game, it felt like they were maybe going to go for the winning play. It felt like they were maybe going to be the team that was actually going to end up doing what Regnum Karya ended up doing, and that wasn't the case. And you know what? Let's talk about this overall before I continue on, because Team Falcons with those 42 points and somewhat of a healthy gap there to 8th place.
Somewhat of a healthy gap, yes. A very important start to the day for Team Falcons. Fireflux obviously really yielding great results. There's one name here slightly omitted from our top 8.
7 मा 5 हो र 26 Yangon Galacticos को पनि 26 same point भएछ यार.
Alpha 7 Neptura still not here.
Alpha 7 बरु यता 9 मा परेको रहेछ 25 रहेछ यार. Team Vision को चाहिँ 2 Gamax 6 AXTMZ 8 Intense Game 9 Intense Res 11
it's almost like they don't know the
Kinprop Gaming को 13
that they have played against for years. And yet they're here like they're the new kid on the block going, oh, I don't know, oh, I don't want to tread on any toes, sorry, you're over there, my bad. It's like, you're Alpha 7, you won last year, what are you doing?
The decision making. The decision making is not there. We saw it earlier in Sanhok. We've been seeing it throughout. I mean, even in group stages too. Yeah. It's just not there.
It's tough. It is tough. Before we actually get into the next game, of course, we have the PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival, and it's now live, of course, this weekend from August 1st to the 3rd. Log in, summon surprise airdrops, and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers to enter prize draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. There's more to go. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Additionally, jump into the game now for your vote on your favorite airdrop partner as well. You might even score yourself small surprises and gifts from them else. We also have plenty of unboxing going on here. I know Maxman's deep in the unboxing right now between games because he's not done it before. We need to get him on it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's going for it. Anyway, of course, it's now time to head over to the commentator team for all the action. It's Miramar, the Dusty Dooms. Let's go.
So there you go, beautiful unboxings leading into the final two maps of the day, where we will reach our halfway mark through the survival stages, and our teams will be hoping against hope and hopefully doing a little bit more than that as well to take themselves into the finals. 8 slots are there at the moment, as the desk highlighted towards the end. The indecisive, timorous Alpha 7. Uncharacteristic of them, but they are in 9th place right now. They want to end strong, and Miramar kind of is their map to do it.
That's right. Miramar is a phenomenal map when it comes to the Alpha 7 roster. They have performed well on Miramar throughout all of Americas, and I expect them to do it just here. And I've seen them pull off literally 21 elimination games on this very map, and well, this would be the time that they needed to make it a 21 elimination game plus the win. I could very well put them well up into first place, and very near to qualifying. Speaking of which, Fireflux, Team Falcons, Noxium, Red Force, Power Esports, all knocking on the door of that 70-point threshold as it currently stands. Let's even throw in Regamparia and E Arena too. Yangon Galacticos, by the way, struggling early on, but that last win put them up in top 8, knocking Alpha 7 down, which is huge. Let's see if they can carry that momentum on the Miramar.
I mean, when you're looking at getting 70 points over the 12 matches, you're looking at maybe having 4 big games under your belt where you're starting to stretch into the teams and then keeping your lower games consistent. And that can be sort of healthy to sit, right? You're getting up above 50 points on your good games, on your 4 big games, and then you're looking to put the rest, so about 20 points up on those games, which
Miramar prison
right? They've already posted those numbers. They've already played 4 big games. The question is consistency, keeping those lower scoring matches under the belt nice and consistent. That is what I'm looking for. You could, of course, just, if you're Falcons, just put up a big 30-point game, 28-point game, and get there already. It's just that easy. So I think they should do that.
Well, talking about Falcons, that's a great narrative because look at where they land.
Falcons are their first position seeker चाहिँ भइरहेछ है 42 छ Fireflux को 40 NS को 39 Power को 37
Well, for Falcons, they're very comfortable and happy where they currently are. For Alpha 7, they are not. This might be the opening fight. Alpha 7 needs.
Alpha 7 no coup by Falcon, okay.
Well, I think it was Valo, if I'm not mistaken, who didn't have a weapon in this scenario. Oh, okay, he's managed to find himself something.
Falcon, come on.
Around the corner.
Falcon को ले लो knock हान्दियो यार यसरी किले हान्दियो knock kill.
Gets caught and immediately flushed as well.
Chains.
Valo with the UN.
Narvalo, come on, Narvalo दामी हो है यिनीहरुको ला ओए दामी हान्दियो कार्बुलेलाई ओए दुई जनाले क्लच हान्दियो झन्डै 3 त्यो रिलोडमा छ हान्दै पाए झोलामै हाने पनि मार्दे Back doesn't connect the shot here. Come on, Narvalo. Lo, Narvalo हाल्दै स्क्वास बोले हान्दियो A7 ओ A7 eliminate first eliminate यार A7 सुरुमै Oh my god. Power REG को पनि पर्दा रहेछ REG को पनि एकजना मात्र बाँकी Power को 4 जना बाँकी यार
Alpha 7, they're not making the front page off of this
Alpha 7 ने ढाल्दियो मलाई Falconले दान नार्वालोले खतरा क्लच हान्दियो है त्यो बल नार्वालो
suffering heavily losses towards Power.
Yeah, that's tough. 2 big teams. taking some heavy losses, but Falcons getting that win. Narvalo flipping the script is tremendous.
Nice.
Falcons should have been dead at that moment. Alpha 7 should have been leading with the squad
Stream
fight, but
Maunu
instead,
Paryo,
Narvalo flips the script with the 3-piece, and that's why Falcons are currently in first place. That's why we continually talk about them. That's why they are the home team.
They have got a lot of strength to them.
बहाल यार फाल्कन फर्स्ट प्लेयर सिकेरै हान्छ जस्तो जे पनि
You can't take it away from the guy. We do criticize him sometimes.
पावरहरुले राम्रो रोटेसन है लिने यार ग्रुपमा
Your words, not mine. He's absolutely nailed that, to be fair. I could not imagine a better result coming through. That dash through the corridor, Alpha 7 completely unawares.
आइएनएफहरु पुरो गाडीमा घुमिरहेछ चारैजना
And they just weren't able to get
यिनीहरुले तर के थाहा हो भन्दाखेरि मैले चारजनाले चारवटै गाडी लिएर हिँड्ने के आइएनएफले मात्र हैन कि सबैले के किनभने अब एउटा गाडी पड्के पनि एकजना मात्र नक होस् भन्ने टाइप्सले के दुईजना एउटै गाडीमा हुँदा दुईजना नक हुन्छ ठिक ठिक नाइस दिमाग हो गाडी पनि बचाउने कि यिनीहरुले दामी नै सेफै हाल्न खोज्ने के आइजी आइरा रहेछ आइजीको एकदम साइलेन्स एड्रियन यहाँबाट कभर दिइरा रहेछ पावर र आइजीको के कस्तो भएर रहेछ त ओके अनि आलाजीले ओइ उफ्री दिएको रहेछ नि त अनि अझ पञ्च हान्न खोज्दै पञ्च नै हान्नु हामीलाई मेन इम्पोर्टेन्ट भने होराले जित्नुपर्छ होरा 7 मा छ यसपालि होराले धेरै पोइन्ट निकाल्नु पर्छ यार
Not Narvalo, and he's able to pull that one back. And we banged on enough about him, but it was pretty poggers, as they used to say.
All right,
that's a historic.
Now you get wild.
That's an old reference. That's an old reference. That one now.
That is an old reference, indeed. That is a fossil. But I mean, honestly, we talked about it. Last thing I'll say, that could very well be the play of the day, without question. The play of really.
The Falcons are doing well today.
Without a doubt, Falcons have flipped this coach of Team Falcons, and he said it. Look, we still feel comfortable if we go to survival stage. We're okay with that. Naturally, they don't want to. They wanted to go.
यहाँ बहुत डेन्जर भइसक्यो यार A7 लाई खतरा हान्दियो फाल्कनले फर्स्टमै एलिमिनेट हान्दियो यार A7 ओए AX ले हान्दियो है टिजीले आरएन भन्ने हान्दियो आरएन खतरा नि AX को त फेरि
so very happy with their day 2 group play performance, and their survival stage performance is phenomenal. The question was, could they keep up that energy? Well, they absolutely have. Loxy, last alive, obviously saw what happened to
last alive रे RG को yes
earlier. Loxy will continue to fight out in the desert as hard as he possibly can.
IG को 4 जना छ अझै
Just a solo though, a lone ranger in the Wild West.
And the Lone Ranger in the Wild West.
Things together. He's got basically nothing as well, right? This is the downside. He had to evacuate Picardo.
RG को यार प्लेस लक्ष्य में तरी
Just didn't have time to really get anything on board. No meds, no utility, limited armor, ammos, that sort of thing. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Regnum going down in the next few minutes, especially with teams moving so central as it stands to the east side of Montenuevo, out over towards Picardo as well. A lot of teams are starting to conglomerate. We'll see if that is going to have an impact on Loxy's survival stakes.
Yeah, I think he's pretty cooked at the moment, but you know what? Loxy's still up. We've seen solo players.
ये को सारे जन से ये न दान से यार साकुरा मोरमैन है ना राम्रो छ और एक जना नाम चाहिँ बिर्सेन त्यो पनि खतरै छ यार मिटर्निकको पनि खासै खेल चाहिँ देखेको छ राम्रो खेलिरहेछ साकुरा जोकर म्याट डेन्जर सबसे धेरै किले जोकरको जस्तो लाग्यो यो सर्भर स्टेजमा अहिले वाइजीको स्माइल एक्लै केटाहरू होरा र वाइजीको सेम पोइन्ट छ 26-26
Chock-a-block right now on the northwest side of Picardo up towards those hills. Power grid. Really too much breathing room here. And
is Team Fly Vision that need to get a go right now. Next circle just coming on
Ora ko
through.
sleepy tada sa Falcon ro ora sleepy भेट हुन्छ क्या हो जीगल सँग चाहिँ भेट हुन्छ जस्तो नर्वालो होइन घुमायो घुमायो फाल्कनको नर्वालो डेन्जर छ यार अघि म्याच दुई जनाले क्लच हान्दिएको यार त्यसले A7 को फाल्कनको नर्वालो भेट भयो नो फियर र स्काईसँग खै फाल्कन अघिको है यो क्लच नार्वालोको क्लच देखाउँछ अब यसमा नार्वालोले 1 अर्को पनि एकजना सुती हानिदिन्छ अन्य यो हो नि त बवाल हान्दिएको थियो नार्वालोले माथि अन्य जोस यो हो नि त यस्तै जोस आउँछ नि फेरि हानेपछि
the weight of the sheer brass bollocks on that player to hit that drop shot.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable. And Ralph, very proud. You saw there that Ralph was absolutely thrilled with the result of that one. So a brilliant play coming through from
INF for EA. I guess EA जित्न सक्छ यो फाइटमा स्लिपीले यो ड्रप कलेक्ट गर्यो
trying to keep things under control, but they've only got 2 players on the side for Influence Rage, and there's a third party off to the north from Vision.
Our first battles for center zone control.
ओए डिएगोले ढाल्दियो तिर्नेकलाई मार्दियो यार नक किल ओए जोकरेन्ड लिलबोय साँच्चै यार लिलबोय पनि डेन्जर छ क्लचमा अघिको गेममा बवाल क्लच हानेको थियो यार त्यसले
Well, you had power with
the
third party off in the distance. Vision, as you mentioned, on that hilltop. The good thing is for Influence Rates, they are quite literally dead center. Despite them not having the man advantage in multiple fights, there's no reason for them to move. But
Team Vision ले रारेछ माथिबाट गाडीको टायर पङ्चर गर्यो.
Once Diego level, if they do have to leave that hardcover POI alone, any of the members from Vision, they're going to be ready.
Vision on this high ground with suppressive shots out a lot of different directions here. It is a question of extracting value, you know, can you take to the
REG NS VSN को एक जना यार छ नवाफ लक्सी बिनी VSN को नवाफ NS बिनी AG को लक्सी के फिर बिर्सिहालेँ मैले
With only 2 points so far today, it seems like they haven't really got the wherewithal to hold a split like this. If you're going by the results they've seen so far, as teams start to push in, their mettle will be tested, and we'll see if they can weather the storm.
He's been in the dirt for quite some time, hanging out, scouting. Team Vision just up ahead.
No. येलाई त कस्तो हान्दिएको यार त्यो INF ले मिठो हान्दियो मैले येले त्यो फाइट जित्छ भने मात्र यार तर हान्दियो INF ले R8 को डमर यताबाट घुमिरहेछ जिगल यता घुमिरहेछ नार्वालो त अझै घुमिरहेछ यार नार्वालो म्याचहरु स्पार्फेस जोकर र को 77k 10 किल रहेछ है तीनै जनाको Lil Boy को 315 मिटर यो Lil Boy डेन्जर रहेछ यार क्लच मास्टर यार Lil Boy नि नार्वालो पनि
Falcons have just lost 1 on the approach there. You can see they're now on 2 players. They tried to crash
REG को एक जना मात्र बाकी छ इन्फ्लुएन्स रेज को 2 जना
bold, but it's working. They have got that western
टिम फाल्कन्स पनि 2 जना मात्र बाकी यादै भएन त यार त्यो त नार्वालो को बाकी हो आइजी सँग रहेछ आइजी र फाल्कन भेट हुन्छ जस्तो छ
They're just going to retreat off it. I think that's sensible, and they are going to be able to make out like
that. माथिबाट हेरिरहेको छ यार यिनीहरुको यो टायर पङ्चर गर्दै थियो सन्ची माथिबाट
Very much indeed. Team Power looking so strong. Team Falcons taking the shack. I never
पावरको आलेजीले ढाल्दियो यार ग्यामक्सको ले नाइस नाइस आलेजी डरलाग्दो आलेजीलाई हटाउनु पर्छ छिटो त नक किल नक मात्र छ यार मरेको त छैन है
Any point Falcons get from this moment is a miracle. Every single point Falcons is able to accumulate is simply due to Narvalo. So we'll take the victories. We'll take the W's.
IG ले हेरिरहेछ एड्रियनले त्यहाँ हेरिरहेछ यार फाल्कनलाई पावरको आलेजी रिभाइभ भएको त छैन है मार्जी त हुने हो आलेजी डरलाग्दो खेलाडी यार
keeping them back, forcing Yangon Galacticus to go all the way into Papa Blue and reposition.
that's a throwback, Papa Blue. Okay.
I'm bringing it back, baby.
Oh dear. Uh-oh. Yangon Galacticos going to re-rotate out on this one onto the south side. Dips back in. It's only stage 3.
बचायो यार आलाजीले बचाएछ पावर को आलाजीले बचायो
Maybe scouting towards
I mean
Kinetron
revived
here, while rotating out to the southeast side, but not getting too bold with it.
होरको कसको हेल्थ लो भएको यार त्यहाँ
He'll know that there's a player now in the distance.
कसको शॉट भेटेछ है
A little short, take a couple of shots. The rest of Kinetron looking to respond here, and they'll be aware now of a presence to their south side on their flank. Fortunately, not too many other teams are going to put pressure on towards Kinetron, so they can take the time to deal with it.
Smile swings it wide. Kinetron keenly aware of Yangon Galactica's position and where they are rotating to. Bit of a pause on that fight. I think both of them, instead of engaging onto each other, specifically from Yangon Galactica's pushing up that hilltop, the fight's not going to be easy, so they wait for the next stage to pop. They might have an advantage here. They will. They should be able to take over the hardcover POIs just on the edge. Maybe they could just go ahead. A little bit deeper for them. Now having that hardcover POI, gatekeeping Kinetron could be huge. And for Cloud, I think he's setting the trap.
He's close enough to take these shots. He's close enough to take this fight. The question is back up, and the question is what pace.
Falconहरु त यिनीहरु अघिदेखि स्यामी चाहिँ भइरहेको थियो कि सबले हेरेर चाहिँ नार्भालो डाउन गयो आरेटले म्यान रस हान्दिसक्यो ओए त्यो कस्तो कुरियर बस्यो नाइस ट्राई अब यिनीहरु पर्छ कि यिनीहरुले अब सबले देखिरहेछ कि माथिबाट अब यिनीहरुले भेट्छ म्याचहरु FF रहेछ त्यहाँ अगाडितिर YG र KN को परेर KN मा कतिजना 4 जना बाँकी छ YG पनि 4 जना बाँकी छ तर एक्लै सुटिरहेको रहेछ यिनीहरु KN को भेट भयो दुईजना
We'll give them their flowers despite the early exit. Falcons did exactly what they needed to do. For Cloud, he split from his team. Yangon Galacticos has sent their other 3 away. Cloud said, I'm staying back. I'm going to try and attack Kinetron if I possibly can, but I believe Final is keenly aware that there is a straggler of Cloud.
गाडी साइड छोड्यो के गरेर नो फेयर रेस का यार जिगल त्यही छ स्लिपी कता हो ए तीन जना एउटै गाडीमा बसिरहेको रहेछ यिनीहरु त तीन जना एउटा गाडीमा बस्नु हुँदैन रहेछ कि यस्तो ठाउँमा त नबसौँ होला यार अस्ति पनि यस्तै ठाउँमा बसेर नेट भेटेको थियो नमिठो यस्तो के हुन्छ रिज भन्छ हैन मैले त सब बिर्सिसक्यो यार एफएफ र एनएस भेट भयो है कमन एनएस एफएफ नि कम छैन यार एफएफ नि ओइ नाइस नेट फेक्दियो त आफ्नैले नेट हानेछ त के हो आफ्नै नेट लागेर त हल्यादियो भेजामा धरी
hurt Doc and Tizzy quite a bit if they try to rotate into solo Sakesh. Macap actually baited himself in that.
Holy po handio ta yaar ita NS ko lai da.
I would say you don't want to be doing that. That generally ends in disaster.
Tizzy ro Doxy thing sir. Doxy ni pagal tha yaar danger tha Doxy.
Now engagement. Scarface actually sending away, and I at this point, yeah, fair enough.
Sahi lage le buggy.
Allow Nongshim Red Force to hold that longhouse for you. You know you've got power to your south. You want to try and hold base because third parties, they're going to come at you thick and fast if you get a little bit too spread thin.
Look, drop the can chota to hare reason this wali.
They do move out of this spot. They should be spotted. Fireflux taking over the shed. That's going to be great for them. Power.
यस्तो ठाउँमा नबसे हुन्छ भने कि मैले त रिजमा यार मैं स्काईले तो फिर डेन्जर हानिन्छ नि यस्तो टाढाको त ओइ यहाँबाट कभर दिइरहेको रहेछ नि फेरि
Gamix also up ahead and Kinetron has to fight off.
Power's position just keeps getting better and better with these circle shifts.
KN को एकजना राइटमा बसेर कभर दिन्छ यिनीहरुले फिनाले र ताम्राले म्याप गर्छ फेरि
They've got so much maneuverability and the teams around them have got none.
राइटमा छ यार एकजना राइटमा छ भने KN को केटा हो
solo since that
ओ यसले हेरिरहेछ के ऊ मैले भने नि यसले
will not be playing on this one.
तिनीहरूले यहाँ दुई जनालाई त्यो गरेर आरजी एलिमिनेट भयो एकजना त बाँकी थियो आरजी को खास
It's about to get chaotic. There are 4
ठिकै हो यत्रो बचेको त कोही त्यसो नौबी भने यताबाट भेट्छ अहिले माधुरी
No fear taking down the vehicle.
नो फेयर को फेरि नेट डेन्जर छ है नेट डेन्जर छ है यसको
Out in the open, he can't really
ल स्काइलाइट हाल्दियो पिउ मैले भने हैन यताबाट हान्दियो कि केएनपी अब ऊ रस रस जान लाग्यो झन्डै गातो छैन कभर दिइराछ नो फेयरले स्काइलाई उठा छिटो भनिरहेको थिएँ यताबाट हेरिरहेछ भनेर के उठ्यो सी हान्दैछ अनि ग्याम्याक्सले यताबाट फेरि म्याच पालो पुर्दैछ के
Can they actually make it work? On the 5 matches they played today, 6 points only. A similar story back in the group stages. This is a team that has really struggled in this tournament. So I do wonder if they're going to be able to execute this hold.
त्यो पोजिसन ल जिगलले भेट्यो नि यार कस्तो मिठो हान्दिएको यो ओजिसनले जानिस टिम हो यो केएन चाहिँ ओए नेट आको त्यहाँ ओए जिगललाई छोडेर हिँड्दियो भने
has to try and march his way on into this one, but it is just a hail of bullets he's met with.
But do they know where he's currently at? Do they know he's going to be on foot? Ozisan's really
त्यो म्याच पोजिसनै गलत थियो कि स्लिपलाइट हाल्दियो इन्टेन्स गेमले म्याच फाइदा लिदियो यार यता होरको एकजना मात्र बाँकी छ यार ओए किन नेट हानेको त्यो डेन्जर नेट हान्दियो त फिनालेले 3 जना मा खाइदियो फिनालेले नेट त डेन्जर हान्दियो त यार ल पिएलआर मात्र बाँकी छ यार यिनीहरू पनि एक जना बाँकी यार आइजीको एकजना बाँकी केएनको के भयो एकजना बाँकी नै छ अझै हाम्रो ल गयो हो र नो फेयर बच्यो होला त बचेन होरालाई प्लेजनले नै खाइदियो यार नो फेयरले त्यो हेल्थै थिएन प्लेजन आइसकेको थियो यार यार 9 मा गयो कि पोइन्ट आएन नि त्यो भन्नाले प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट चाहिँ पाएन किल त उठा कि उठाएन किल पनि यार नक मात्र हाने देखिरहेको थियो यार भएन है भएन
Central circle shift pops up for us, and again, over towards power. They are going to look to keep this farming up on the points now with the 42 that they currently have. They want all that they can get out of this one. Feel themselves nice and safe towards the rest of the day. They've got 5 elims already on this match, and nobody
किल चाहिँ उठाएको रहेछ तर वाइजी र होरको सेम पोइन्ट छ वाइजीहरु अझै बाँकी छ 4 जना एक किल उठाइसक्यो वाइजीले टप छ होला यार होरालाई लिल बोय यो लिल बोय पागल रहेछ यार डेन्जर छ मातरी क्लच मास्टर अनि आरएफ मार्क्सलाई ढाल्दैछ मलाई पिएसएन गोले किले हान्दियो यार इसको हेल्थ त के हो वान हिटमा बचिरहेछ यार त्यो दिएको हाम्रो हावा गोलीको हावा मात्र गयो भने मर्थ्यो त्यो अहिले गामाक्सको एकजना नक बरु गामाक्सहरू बचिरहेछ भिएसएनहरू बचिरहेछ यार 4 जना यसपालि त एएक्स पनि खत्रैमा बचेर खेलिरहेछ नि
But that's a dangerous run out, and R8 are definitely going to take shots. Little boy might be going for it though. He's mounting up, he's moving. In the meantime, Diego trying to suppress the fire on, but he eats a bullet too.
I never deal with ढलेको हो
a forward position. Little boy will be playing that terrain. Yeah,
think for influence range, they understood, look, R8's going to be an issue. Hopefully we can get it down. If so, it gives us more leeway to rotate in, but it just doesn't happen. You mentioned Yangon Galacticus pushing in to AXTMG. That's exactly what they do for just a little bit, but eventually back away. But the good news is for two players, at least Saint Cloud and his duo, they managed to push a little bit deeper towards that airfield. But now for AXTMG, there's really nowhere they can go that's safe.
Power takes shots out towards Henry.
Power can charge and so power less pal chhodदैन power एकदम बचेर खेल्छ मलाई थाहा भइसक्यो
be able to connect on the spray down. Cyrax up to the roadside now and actually doesn't want to stop there. Gathering momentum. He's going to
यसको पावरले लिन सक्छ है चिकन
AXTMG's outpost. Devotee has his team regrouped towards him.
ओइ डिभोटीले स्माइलर हाल्दे
Great shots from a
अन्नी अन्नी अन्नी
distance. refusing to budge. They may
तर
not have
स्मोक
the
हानेर
numbers,
रिभाइभ हान्न
but
भ्याउँछ
they've
जस्तो
got
छ है
the
रिभाइभ
heart
हान्नु पर्यो
for utilizing it as much as humanly possible. A team that needs
लिल
to
बोयले गामाक्सको
their way up the
एपिके
stage,
विन्डो उसलाई हाल्दैछ यार
points. That's simply not going to be enough. But with two more games remaining, this being one of them, they
लिल बोय
understand
खतरा
what's
छ
at
यार
stake.
रागनारले हाल्दियो गामाक्सको लागि लिल बोयले मार्दियो त्यसलाई अर्सरलाई मार्दियो रागनारले पावरको रागनारले है त्यो रागनार पनि क्लच मा गड क्लच गड यो पनि क्लच गड
Oh, with the pan, you're kidding.
के त प्यान फेकेको धुरी प्यान फेकेर त्यसले उठाएर पठाउन लाग्यो कि नेट फेके जस्तो गरेर खतरा दिमाग यार बबल ओइ झन्डै त्यहाँ क्रोनाले हानिदिएको झन्डै गाडी निकाल्यो गयो पावरले हेरिरहेको छ कि जेएमएक्सलाई खालि वाइसीले पनि हेरिरहेको रहेछ गामाक्स त भेट्यो गामाक्सले भेट्यो लिलबोयले यो ब्याक पनि फेक्ने रहेछ कि यिनीहरूले ब्याकको पनि त फुक्क पर्छ नि त त्यो नदेखोस् भनेर फेक्दिने रहेछ भने ब्याक साइडमा डेन्जर दिमाग यार यस्तो त मैले कहिले सोचेको थिएन पहिला त ब्याग पनि देख्छ भनेर अझ ब्याग त त्यति बेला स्किनको होइन झिलिमिलीवाला ब्याग बोकेर हिँड्थ्यो अझ माधेर
As soon as he crawls too far forwards with no nades either, it's just too dangerous here.
जेएमएक्सहरु बचिरहेछ यार यिनीहरूलाई सबले हेरिरहेको थियो कि सबले यिनीहरूको भिजन पाइरहेको थियो लिलबोयले छ यार लिलबोय त खतरा छ है लिलबोयले यो एक्लैले उठाइदियो भने त डेन्जर गड है लिलबोय त गाडी लिलबोयले छोड्दैन ला एनएस इलिमिनेट र्याङ्क 8 मा तर लिलबोय पनि जान्छ यार जोन आइसक्यो हैन धेरै बसेर ओर्ने ल यताबाट हान्दियो फेरि क्रोनाले हान्दैछ यताबाट फाइदाले त्यसले हानेर पावर र्याग्नरले खाइदिएछ तर नाइस जिजी नेड आयो क्रोना यताबाट स्माइल त्यो स्यान्डविच भयो भने गाह्रो कि यता हेर्ने जहाँबाट पनि भेटेछ है पावरको हेर न ल 4 जना बचिरहेछ भने पावरहरु चिकन खान बेर पावरले चिकन खान्छ भने तर वाइजी पनि 4 जना छ है वाइजीले पनि 2 किल उठायो प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट पनि पाउँछ माथि जाने भयो होरलाई टप्ने भयो वाइजीले सेम पोइन्ट थियो 26 इलिमिनेसन पनि 2-2 छ यो राउन्डमा नाइस सने नाइस र्याग्नरले डिभोटीलाई हान्दियो एक्स गयो उ यताबाट हाने यताबाट चार जना बाँकी पावर वाइजी R8 भेसन भेसनमा 4 जना थियो 1 जना नक भयो 2 जना नक 3 भएन 2 जना नक भ्याउँदैन बचाउनु त भ्याउँदैन कदापि नै 3 जना त नक भएछ यार गयो बचाउनु भ्याउँदैन यत्रो सानो सर्कल भइसक्यो अनि टार्गेटमा छ नक हुन बित्तिकै डिसएडभान्टेज हुन्छ कि पहिला पनि हामी खेल्दा के त अब नक हुन बित्तिकैमा रस हानिहाल्छ नि अपोनेन्टले के त एकजना नक हुनु कि रस हानिदिइहाल्छ कतिचोटि त बचाएर बेलाखेरि मर्दिने कि भ्याउँछ कि एकजनालाई भने बचाउन मार्सेलोलाई भोल्टले बचाउँदैछ मार्सेलोलाई धन्न रुखको कभर पाइरहेछ यो त नवाफलाई चाहिँ बचाउनु भ्याउँदैन जस्तो पिएसएनको आरेटलाई पनि त निस्किन मिल्दैन रस हान्नलाई मिल्दैन त्यहाँ हेरिरहेको छ तर पावर र वाइजीको छुट्टै भइरहेछ वाइजीको स्माइल ढल्यो है पावरले ढाल्यो वाइजीले फाइदेनले ढाल्यो सेक्लाउडले मारिदियो नि नक एन्ड किल नाइस नक किल दिइहाल्ने हो कि त्यसरी मात्रै आलेजीले मार्नरले ढाल्यो किलै हान्दियो र्याग्नरले किल हान्दियो आलेजी यार पागल छ यार आलेजी सुरुमै ढाल्नु पर्नेहरू हो तिनीहरू चाहिँ वाइजी सेक्लाउड 600 ड्यामेज वाइजीको 2 जना पावरको 3 जना आरएडको 2 जना भिएसएनको 3 जना ओइ भिएसएनको त्यो फायरले बचाइदिएछ यार दामी 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 बच्चाको सही हो यार बचाउन यसमा भ्याउँदैन कि भन्नै पर्यो भने ला जोन आयो गयो वाइजी गयो यार तर यिनीहरूले किल नदिने टाइप्सले ब्लू जोनमा मर्दिने जस्तो लाग्यो है मलाई चाहिँ तिनीहरू निस्केर दौडेन नि होइन त्यस्तो गर्छ जस्तो लाग्यो कि किल नजाओस् भनेर बरु त्यो जोनले खाओस् भनेर दिने कि नआफले 600 ओए भिएसएन कमन भिएसएन तल छ कि यिनीहरू धेरै पोइन्ट छैन कि भिएसएन चिकन हान्न स्याहारै हो ला पावरको को ढलेको मार्सलले पनि ढलेछ तर सेट नक किल आलाजी ओए आलाजीले ढाले रहेछ नि त बाबा खतराले ढाले हो ढाल्नु त तर ल आरे प्लस हान्दियो रस हान्न र्याग्नर पनि ढल्यो होइन आलाजी र र्याग्नर ढल्यो त रस बचाइरहेछ आलाजीलाई यार इजिली दौडिन दौडी भने यिनीहरूले याद गरेन क्या हो आलाजी नक भएको अघि नै ला 2v2 भयो यिनीहरूले याद नगर्यो भने आलाजीले छोड्छ र भने आलाजी इजी ढल्यो 2 vs 1 ओए आरेटले जित्यो नाइस 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 डेडली डुओ जस्तो यिनीहरूमा जिग्री यार न्यामदुला नाइस नाइस नाइस
their journey, seemingly asleep for the first 4 matches. Match number 5, they open their eyes. Got to look over
power and it FF.
Well, I mean, I'm even looking at power with the second place. Double-digit elimination. That's what I was thinking of power. Sorry, I completely blanked.
पावरहरूले भ्याउनु त आत्यो धेरै त्यो आलाजीले नेट ताकिरा भएर भेट्या मार्सेल र नवाफलाई त इजी खाइदिए रहेछ खुट्टामा हानेर ढालिदिया मैले र्याग्नरलाई दुईजनाले के अब सँगै दामी हान्दियो बरोबर बबल माउंटेन ड्यू डर की माँ की फर्स्ट एफएफ सेकेंड पावरले खायो चिकन थर्ड होरो स्पोर्ट्सले खायो फोर्थ वाइजीले खायो फिफ्थ आरएटले खायो अब लास्ट एउटा म्याच लास्ट एक म्याच छ यता आजको भोलि पनि छ टप एउटा परेकोहरूको सेफ साइडमा बसेर पार्टी हान्दा होला
delighted to invite you to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the ESPORTS World Cup in Riyadh, KSA. This exciting event will take place from July 25th to August 3rd at the Boulevard City. We've prepared tons of event modes, such as the PMWC avatar frame, eSports Passion Set, eSports Passion Parachute, and tons more items. Let's check out how you can get all these rewards. During the tournament, go to the Pandora event page via Lobby, Event Center, eSports to join the event. Norman from SEA, Tom from CSA, Pedrinho from the Americas, Silas from the EU, and Prestige from MENA will guide you through the 5 major parts of the event. They consist of tournament celebration, prediction rewards, esports shop, themed outfit, and champion challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect esports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the esports shop. The more esports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get up to 2,870 esports tokens from the prediction event. It takes place from July 23rd to August 5th and consists of 3 stages that coincide with the tournament. Group stage, survival stage, and grand final. During the group stage, you get 20 esports tokens by predicting the 8 teams you think will advance directly to the grand finals. Each correct prediction will grant you an additional 60 tokens. Correct predictions to get 300, 680, and 720 tokens, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8 teams that will make it to the grand finals. The rewards are the same as the group stage. During the grand finals, you must try and predict the ultimate champion. Just predicting will grant 30 tokens, and a correct prediction will grant 400 tokens.
Our last game,
If you're unsure about your predictions, you can let your friends' predictions guide you.
Our last
Find someone reliable,
last game, sir.
and wait to be rewarded. The 3 prediction rounds take place on July 27th, July 30th, and August 3rd at 10:45 UTC 0. Rewards are issued the second day after each stage ends at 4 a.m. UTC 0. You'll receive esports tokens based on your prediction results. Note, esports tokens don't expire and can be used in future esports events. Who do you think will be the ultimate champion? Join the 2025 PMWC event and share your predictions. Invite your friends to join the predictions and watch the tournament unfold.
आरेटको नाटक आयो अब जसले चिकेन हाने तिनीहरूको यस्तरी भिडियो आउने रहेछ कि
R8, pretty great. 100% out 8 out of 8 coming from them here in this game to start Miramar. We have got ourselves a brilliant victory for them here at PMWC. Joining me, we have ourselves Neptura as well as Maxman to talk about this one. And we have got ourselves finally an R8 win here. Neptura, very well done.
It's very nice to see. We wanted to see that in group stage. We didn't really, but there we go. And we finally see it here, and it was a really nice one indeed.
It's not just an R8 win. This is a meaner podium.
Yes,
right?
it is.
R8, you have power, you have vision. We're like, oh, they've been kind of underwhelming this tournament so far, but no, they all get to the podium finish. And actually, every team kind of had their very good plays of their own. Of course, Power taking a very strong position super early on. R8 just sweeping the northern side, and Vision being very opportunistic on that fight versus Fireflood.
गेम बाँकी छ है आजको गेम बाँकी छ भोलि छ भोलि पनि छ 6 म्याचै हुन्छ टप 8 मा पर्नुपर्छ हामी भन्नाले सबैजना टप 8 मा पर्नुपर्छ मेनली हो र स्पोर्ट्स पर्नै पर्छ नपरि हुँदैन हो र स्पोर्ट्स टप 8 मा पर्नुपर्छ भोलि 6 वटा म्याच छ भोलि यो चाहिँ अहिलेको गेमको मात्रै हो है यो कति उठाएछ त पावरले 19 पोइन्ट प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट 6 पाएर पनि किल 13 हानेर 19 छ हो R8 ले त्यहाँ चिकेन हानेर पनि सेकेन्डमा छ हो कस्तो हाने होला त पावरले चिकेन हानेको भए त पागल हुन्छ तिनीहरुको पोइन्ट हो र स्पोर्ट्सले 2 भयो नि उठाएछ
Whereas Power, yeah, they did get a lot of eliminations, but when it comes to that final push, they just didn't have that momentum to back them up. And so for R8, they were able to overpower Power for that reason, because they had to get so many eliminations and fight so hard to get to that second place.
Look, I'm going to say a lot about Mina this game. Did Alpha 7 just get 1 point again? Like, I am scared for Alpha 7.
Very much so.
I am also concerned as we take a look at all these numbers coming in from this game as well. I mean, considering that I think there is a world where they may probably do skirt by survival, but if you're getting 7 or 8 with these kinds of performances for Alpha 7, it is now time to get concerned. With only 12 games here.
I don't see them taking home the trophy for the second year in a row. Like now, they're nowhere near to the way they were playing last year, and that was with McGrennan, a player that was not even supposed to stay with the team that long. So I'm very surprised why they just can't find an entry point in the circle. Let's go through a few of these highlights here, and yeah, R8, looking back on them, and you said already here, Neb, how good they were on that northern side. They were just sweeping, very opportunistic, getting these ridge controls. Circle finishes like this is all about, do you know where the good ridges and dips are, and if you do, how can you leverage them to try and get the chicken dinner at the end?
It's always really good as well if you have a zone that is going to actually go more towards your drop location as well, right? Because, or near perhaps one of your rotations, because this is where you really get to have that map knowledge. You know your rotation path, you know the area around your drop spot very, very well, or you should. And so for these teams at this level, yes, they are going to know that. So all these little ridges are very, very well known to them.
I'd agree. But looking at R8 at the end of that
match, first again जस्तो लाग्यो यो टुर्नामेन्टमा R8 चाहिँ साउदी अरेबियाकै हो कि साउदी अरेबियामै भइरहेको छ टुर्नामेन्ट यिनीहरू होस्टको कन्ट्री
power that had two players in Easy and Al Hajj. There's also an MVP contender of his own. But good to see Nina stepping up in big ways here today.
It's very important when considering I was a little bit concerned about watching some of the moves that they were making on Arangel, but if they can kind of capitalize on Miramar a little bit more here, this will be able to put them in good stead. Considering nobody's running away with day one just yet, I want to say it's kind of relatively even towards the top. Nobody's really sponging up a lot of those points. So that will mean that the cutoff, to a degree, Max, will be a little bit less, which could give Alpha 7 a little bit of a reprieve going into day 2. But they've got to turn it on, man.
You're telling me there's a chance they could make it.
Maybe.
I think the point threshold is going to be a little bit lower than what we had possibly going into the group stage. But actually, looking at power, final point, they do hot drop. Normally in Picardo versus Regnum Karya. So if they don't win that, maybe we see a Regnum Karya win. That's something you want to try to avoid because you had 2 big hot drops.
Yeah.
I want to see that fixed on Miramar.
Well, of course, before we get into our next game, it is now everyone's favourite segment of the day.
Axeman's grenade of the day.
And yes, we're back for Maxman's grenade of the day. And today we got 2 nades coming your way. Starting off an absolute fail here from Ori, all over the place, crashing into the wall next to
यो अगाडिको गेमको YG-ले चिकन भन्दा गेमको चाहिँ
here on this final chicken dinner we had earlier on Orangle. But Yangon, they had the nades, they had all the utility in their arsenal ready to strike at the end to wrap it up. And this nade in particular, here you go, look at the timer, down to the last 2 seconds, shuts it right over onto Silas, and he is gone, right back to the Shadow Realm. That was a game-winning nade, possibly for Yangon Galacticos.
All right, brother. All right, I like that.
Yeah, bro.
You sort of alternate between growly and then normal Max voice as well.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that was actually a really good nade.
Not bad. What do you think about this, Neptune? Did you enjoy Maxman's growly nade of the day?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Louise.
Okay, Granny. That was
I don't know what that was.
I did.
Was that an attempt at growling?
Possibly.
Stop that right now.
Don't do that again. No.
We'll leave Max's nade of the day to Max. I think.
Fair enough, yeah.
But this now leaves us in a very open spot, right, for our final Miramar of the day, as we take a look at all of these players getting ready and good to go. In fact, I am getting word that our teams are almost ready. So without further ado, after that lovely nade of the day, let's head over to the casters of the day. There's another duo, they're also really good. We'll see you in a few.
Grenade of the day.
That was your best Texas accent I've heard yet.
Hey man, we're going to be playing some more PUBG Mobile. I don't know where that's from. That's more like Louisiana way. But if you guys want to figure out exactly where that's from, well, you need to head over to the map or our official map feed. Of course, you can check that out on our PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube channel, so you can see where all of our players are at all times, unless they've been eliminated, because then they won't be on the map feed anymore. That's a fact. Because they'll be out of the game.
Yes.
So you won't be able to see that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what you can do is rewind it. Then you can see them there anyway, even though it won't be live and up to date. You get what I'm trying to say, all right? What I'm trying to say is Maxman has excellent grenades. Only the best grenades.
Yes.
Everyone says so.
Yeah, the close-up really is what sent me. It was the close-up after.
We need more Maxman close-ups.
We absolutely need more Maxman close-ups. That's that guy. That's the guy. By the way, I heard the French slander earlier. Was that towards Maxman too, the last mount?
Well, I don't think. I feel like he catches enough flack as it is, so no. Yeah, we'll keep that one going.
We'll keep it going.
We'll save that in the pocket.
We'll save it. We'll save it. Look, Game 5 was phenomenal for a number of different reasons. You know, it's like I look at R8 taking the win in the fashion that they did, which was incredible. As we got both hands once again, that thing is just everywhere. But, you know, we started it with Falcons getting a tremendous clutch taking down Alpha 7 early on, which begs the question, another hot drop. I don't know. That might end up happening if Alpha 7 needs some confidence from power.
Taking a little nap. Keeping his eyes nice and fresh. Ready to go. Out here in the Riyadh sun, it is very toasty, but our teams need to keep cool, calm, and collected in towards the final match of the day. Of course, we talked about that bubble earlier on the matches that we've had so far. And we're hoping to see at the end of all 12 matches, so at the end of tomorrow, a 70-point boundary. So today, getting over 35 points is where you want to see yourself sat.
Yeah, but Clara said it best, like at the moment, there's really, like, there are teams that are shining in specific instances, but at least towards the top, everybody is relatively even, which is going to put even more pressure on those bubble teams going into tomorrow, because I believe there is a slight separation in points anyways, especially when you start getting towards like 6th, 7th, and 8th place, right? So this next game is going to be critical. You always want to end your day on a good foot. So you go into tomorrow's competition knowing, okay, we ended strong, let's start strong. Tomorrow is just 6 games. That's all you got. And we're going to be sending half of the lobby home. That is a heavy, heavy burden on some of the rosters who are towards the bottom.
Well, let's take to the skies once more. The desert awaits us as we will reach our halfway mark.
The final game,
stages, once this game concludes, who is going to take the lion's share of the points, or are we going to sprinkle them about like oh so much seasoning on top of an already spicy tournament? The plane path coming on in starts from El Pozo, heads down towards Partona. Our 64 players ready to jump out.
Let's get it going. See how it's going to end up unfolding. El Pozo, I believe, yeah, we had that hot drop, right? Alpha 7 Falcons, do we get the repeat? Very rarely. At least in the Americas region, is Alpha 7 have to change up their landing spot because a team has pushed them out. It's only happened once to my knowledge, and it was in the PMSL Americas fall season, 2024. So this could very well be a repeat of that same situation. I look at them currently flying over Miramar. Alpha 7 and Falcons are still relatively close to each other. There is a chance we get a repeat of what we saw in map number 5.
Is Narvalo going to be able to hit those big, bold drop shots again?
अलजीले धेरै किल हानेर चाहिँ 12 स्टारफिसले 11 र्याग्नार पनि पावरको 11 र्याग्नारमा खतरा रहेछ भने अस्ति यिनीहरूले गेम मात्र देखाउन सकिरहेको थियो कि तर हाइएस्ट ड्यामेजमा फाल्कनको त्यो सिओ डबल 7 के रहेछ
losing the majority of their players in that scenario, so it looks like they are actually going to be changing quite dramatically here, going for that spread around Picardo instead of trying to drop on the inside.
So going back to in the zone, straight up north, a little bit different from what we saw in the last game. Let's talk a little bit deeper about this Falcons Alpha 7 potential fight, which might be going down. 4 Team Falcons, they've already done their job today. 46 points, I'm happy with that. If I'm a competitor, I'm thinking, okay, even if we get first eliminated here by Alpha 7, yeah, it's not ideal. Oh, I'm still happy with the amount of points we got. We're most likely going into the finals competition. Now, for them to challenge Alpha 7, you don't want Alpha 7 going for a back-to-back championship. You now have a chance to shut them down in game number 6 in 10th place. That's a tremendous offer, and if I'm Team Falcons, I want to hunt them down, and I want to take this fight once again to Alpha 7 and try to keep them away from top 8 as much as humanly possible. We do have Ralph, who's going to be kind of circling around the team of Alpha 7, but in the meantime, it's not power. We saw them early on in the last game. We're seeing them once again.
They are already on the road. We're only 2.5 minutes in, and it seems like teams are already making their way forwards to these next stage positions. The
potentially fairly light on the loot for a few of our players, but it'll be okay. Okay, heading back in towards Picardo. They can pick up a little bit more gear to be getting on with. So for Power, currently sat right at the top, nearly up at that 60-point metric. Huge to end their day on. In the meantime, Alpha 7, they're out. No hot drop scraps to be seen so far this match, so adjustments have been made.
Right. I think this is the best course of action. Something Alpha 7 didn't have a chance to do in the last game, now have a chance to go dead center of the zone. Maybe have a little bit more longevity. Let's not forget, say 7 roster, they were a wonderful Miramar team. That last game was very unorthodox. It was all up to Narvala who ended up clutching it out. So for Alpha 7, the big game here is very much so needed. Even the best can start to feel rattled. I don't know if Alpha 7 is necessarily feeling that pressure just yet, but there is a little bit more at stake now in the survival stage. Without question, they go up towards Hora. Northern side of the zone, still very much dead. A lot of real estate there for anyone to take. But for Alpha 7, how long do they stay center zone?
That's the question. It's kind of antithetical to what they've been playing so far. Playing that edge side, playing that sweeper position, but they're going to change things up here on Miramar. They could chill out here for quite a while. These concretes should be fairly decent to hold. We'll see how long they can do so. Vision rotating in from that southwest side as well. Currently 2-2 split. A really quite big split. It's about a kilometer difference between the two outposts. This is on the forward position. 14 Vision. We've got the other 2 players bringing up the rear behind them. Never alone. Playing with a WAF on that vehicle. Rotate behind them. The scout is good. They're clearing the path. They're going to be chilling for the time being, and actually sailing on in fairly close to a couple of other players, potentially all the way up towards 7 there.
Oh, he gets up, doesn't know Petrino's up there. Well, now he does. Cat's out of the bag. A big fight for the high ground. All tossed down. Sleepy.
More Sleepy.
There's nothing he can do. Hugs the wall, tries to avoid damage, and simply cannot. Petrino holds on tight to what he's got.
Jutma ढलेको Sleepy there.
Bad news for Sleepy. Drops down the side and takes a dirt nap. That is an uncomfortable pillow, if I do say so myself.
Well, still.
डाँडाबाट चिप्लेर ढल्दिएर नपाइदिएर यार Sleepy त.
Look at where Petrino's out. Petrino can comfortably go for the finish. Nor do I think he's
बजन भ्याउँदैन होला है.
concerned about getting the cleanup on the Sleepy. So, might be a 4-man unit quicker than you would assume. Pickup is in. So, all good. Sleepy can let that error go. It's like it never happened.
It definitely happened. It's so happened. It's unbelievable. The rest of Intense game. Might actually be able to navigate around this one and
बचाए तर Sleepy ले बचाए छ.
The benefit of not going for that flush out is that it draws
Amma bochan ver.
commit to this hillside push. So Pedrino can just give ground. I mean, it's smart, right? You just slam it in reverse, do a little pirouette on the way down. You look classy, you look sophisticated.
Sky, come on, Sky.
Just get out of there, right? That's the idea.
Not out yet.
A lot
Sky.
of dispensed here downhill, but not quite.
गोली reload भएको मारे अब चाहिँ मर्यो.
Set on fire, and there we go. Okay, so.
नो फेयरले खाएछ त स्काईले तबाट हानिरहेको थियो. नो फेयरले चाहिँ किल हान्दै जस्तो.
Power to Noxious Red Force. They start the clash very early on. Power was one of our early teams in map number 5 here on Miramar, who started off on fire, had a chance to take the win, falling just short to R8 this time. One of our first teams to be eliminated, depending on how this fight ends up unfolding. Noxious Red Force, a very aggressive roster. Started to improve their performance on day 2 group play, looking strong, obviously, in today's competition. Now top 3. Don hugging the corner. Red Force starting to tighten the vice grip. It's not going to be an easy fight for either which roster. I do love the high ground though.
No fearले silence line ढाल्यो.
Disengage with Dodge starting to fall. Do we start to see Noxious Red Force?
Power को फाइदन ढाल्यो बिनीले बिनी नो फेयरले silence ले किले हान्दियो.
Smoke on the door frame is doing a lot of work for Noxious Red Force. He's playing around it with the shotgun.
Power easily आफ्नै केटाले फाइदनले मार्दियो नि बम हानेर बम हानेको फाइदनले पर्दिरा. Easily exit royले हान्दियो है easy.
down there.
Easy on fire. Ragnar पनि पागल छ. Ragnar पागल छ केटा हो.
Trying to keep things together. Bulldogs in red.
Vinny हान्छ. I knew it. Vinny. तर Ragnarसँग चाहिँ अब चाहिँ भन्न सकिँदैन.
Large amount of damage for the roster.
हानी मिठो घेरिदियो है पावरलाई त फर्स्ट एलिमिनेट पावर. Oh my god.
Man, they're going to feel good now.
Crazy man, crazy, you know what I'm saying here?
First place, 56, near that 70-point theoretical threshold for top 8. They're very healthy. But going from what should have been a guaranteed win, in my opinion, in map number 5 to being first out in map 6, they're going to have to recover short-term memory going into day 2's the final day for the survival stage. There's no gifts wildly down towards the south, and therefore everybody has to full speed ahead straight into the next stage.
I'm looking at Ragnar Kaya, I'm looking at Fireflux holding down towards these south areas on this map. You've got Fireflux who can control the south edge of San Martin, get up into those hills and try and maintain the control. Everybody else on the road, Alpha 7 leading the charge. They leave almost immediately, rightly so. They've heard that fight across the way. They know Nongshim Red Force are still a little bit battered and bruised, can't take that fight, so you get out of there fast. You're not going to be as challenged here. Across the road they go, and they're looking a lot safer now, and they are into Regnum Kaya territory.
7 dead center, like you said. Let's see what happens here as Nongshim Red Force very close to him. Karya also starting to tempt fate. Alpha 7 pushes up. This is a must-win fight. Alpha 7 needs to stay alive. It is critical. They break into top 8 by the end of the day, and some great utility has already been thrown. Revo is starting to take over the high ground, pushing where Wild
A7 कसको पर्रा छ यहाँ आरिजीको. Let's go आरिजी नि भौकाल छ है A7 आरिजी.
Around him, it's only going to make him a better player.
4v4.
No connections, and the dance will continue.
Alpha 7 rock up, no casualties on the approach so far. A little bit of damage sent towards Mafioso, towards Revo, but they are now in a straight up 4v4. As Regnum Kaya holding the ground.
Mafioso loyal.
Mafioso in a 1-4 trade on the off angle there. Silas finds a second as well.
Top secret Mafioso ढल्यो. कारिलो पनि ढल्यो. दुईजना A7 को दुईजना ढल्यो है. आरिजी को एकजना ढल्यो. आरिजी को डेड एकजना. आरिजी को एकजना डेडे गरेर गयो. अल्फा 7 मर्छ भनेर स्योर भइसकेपछि त्यसैले तिनीहरु डेडे हानेर डेड होरले 2 किलो उठाइसक्यो. के चाहियो? यति चाहियो नि. YG 34 मा छ, E 31 मा हो र 28 मा छ 9. यो होरले यो चिकन हान्यो भने सही हुन्छ.
Their title from last year. Now we focus our attention over towards Team Falcons, a roster that was underperforming throughout the group play, but overperforming when it comes to the survival stage, looking to finish it first.
Alpha's ever really good at Miramar, by the way. 1 point, no points. It's kind of crap, really, isn't it? It's not what you want to see for Alpha 7. And
my concern, though, John, is like they go in Americas and they underperform. They do. Let me take it back. Stage 1 of PMSL Americas, they've overperformed, beating the second place team by over more than half, or more than double, if I'm not mistaken. Then they go into stage 2, start to slow down a little bit, second place. Now, still impressive, right? But we're talking Alpha 7 here in Americas where they should be dominating. And then they go to grand finals, and they start off very, very slow. Let's not forget, they only qualify for this stage, for PMWC in the final game, and it's because Wolves dropped the ball going to the Death Shack and basically not even choosing to play the final game. Of course, they did, but just too slow, and well, they didn't have a game plan. Alpha 7 barely sneaks into the top 3, which they should have dominated.
Alpha 7 र पावर एलिमिनेट भएको फर्स्ट पावर भयो 6 अल्फा 7 दामी टिमहरु फर्स्टमा एलिमिनेट भएको छ राम्रो हो पावरले त 56 पोइन्ट लिएर ढुक्कै छ नि ओइ एनएस को 2 जना मरिसकेछ त इन्टेन्स गेमको नि 2 जना आइजी को ग्यामाक्स को पनि 2 जना
they were able to win it, but the speed at which they could leave is not going to be fast enough. They now have taken heavy casualties, and that crossing is going to be nearly impossible. With 1 player remaining, Doxy will try and get something done.
ग्यामाक्स लाई त ल एलिमिनेट हान्दैछ त आरेटले हान्दै हो
players alive is good. I'm looking looking at Kinotrope as well on that southwest side with a nice spread.
हो र स्काईले YG को मार्नेटलाई ढालेको छ नक हो र नो फियर ढलेको छ रोमियोले ढालेको छ YG कोले नक नक एक जना नक YG को एक जना नक हो र को एक जना नक
Opportunity to kind of bully him out. Granted, you do have Ozan who's going to be able to fire down low, and he did a great job, by the way, in the last game, right? Ozan was that off angle, just peppering shots at the enemy. But for Falcons, they are a punishing roster. They see Fleur by himself, you better believe they're going to push him.
YG को 2 जना नक
Heavy punishment from Aura to their north, who do still have to rotate themselves, and Vision to their north as well, who do not. And they are going to be able to hold down in this compound. You can see Yangon Galacticos further up.
इधर म ढल्नै लाग्यो कि रिभाइभ हुन्छ मर्यो मर्यो रोमियो प्ले जोनले नै मर्यो एचसी को 3 points
now look at the mount up dishing out some punishment but
and then 30-31
break towards the top side here 9th place Aura looking to move away from Alpha 7 towards E Arena. But E Arena themselves going to be crashing on
towards this RG 4v4
we've seen them defend one. Can they do it again?
4v3 RG को तो एक जना खाइरहेछ अल्फा 7 ले सरी ये को साकुरा चाहिँ बाहिर बसिरहेको रहेछ
but it's chaos across the board. Loxy bottom right, of course. Joker, who's going to be bottom left, and then the overhead up top is.
RG को एक जनाले गाडी लियो तीनै जनाले गाडी निकालेर चल्दी हान्दियो के हो यस्तो आम्बो दिमाग बल हैन पासा दिमाग लगा दिमाग खतरा दिमाग लगा खतरा नै गाडी लुका अहिले फोड दिन्छ डेन्जर दिमाग लगाइदियो त यार
try and stop the teams getting in. If you don't get any knocks, fall back to where we held before.
But I think they come back. I want this hardcover POI if I'm honest, because it's going to be
such a Rafa, IG, Adrian, no fear Jiggle सँगै छ
that we ended up witnessing. Granted, second place.
Come on, ल स्लिपी फेरि खसेर
They were a force to be reckoned with.
स्लिपी यार फेरि म डाँडाबाट झरेर नक भयो यार
I don't think this is going to be the end of them versus E Arena.
Falcons starting to push in. They have been quietly fighting.
स्माइललाई भेट भयो फाल्कन को रेफले ढाल दो स्माइललाई सीओ 77 के ले हान्दिएको छ र किले गर्दियो स्माइललाई YG को स्माइललाई तर हाम्रो लागि राम्रो हो हामीले YG लाई टक्नु पर्ने हुन्छ YG 34 मा छ E 31 मा 31 0 किल छ YG को E को 1 किल छ त्यो भनेको 1 point स्लिपीलाई बचाए फेरि दुई चोटी यार दुई चोटी डाँडाबाट खस्यो हो स्लिपी त
For Falcons, in my opinion, I'm sending it into the zone. I'm trying to get as much distance as possible once these fights have concluded because I'm not too
happy. अर्को एउटा चिकन सबैले नाम याद राखोस् न एनएस को एकजना मात्र बाँकी छ यार
Getting a little bit more healthy here. They'll need every advantage they can get pushing in the southwest side. He's treacherous. The terrain nice and bobbly for you as you try and roll on forwards. SayCloud has spotted Redox. Redox unaware of the position, but doesn't quite go down. We'll have time now to heal this one up, and SayCloud's position is known. They'll have to reposition and get away from this location before the Falcons descend, before Vision send out their way. Descend south at this stage. They're going to be more interested in heading east to regroup. Meanwhile, is that going to be Aura on the northern side and IG having a
दिमाग लाग्यो है फल्कन गले त्यो गाडी यता आरएट को मार्स ढालेको छ है प्रेस्टिजले फेरि आइएनएफ ले ढालेको छ डम्बरले फेरि डिएगोले ढालेको छ आइएनएफ को दुई जना नक आरएट को एक जना नक दुई जना नक आरएट को फेरि लले हान्यो दुई जना नक आइएनएफ को दुई जना लो छ आरएट को तीन जना नक लिल बॉय कम ऑन लिल बॉय तर हेल्थ चलाउँदैछ आरएट को एकजना किलै भयो दुईजना नक छ एकजना मात्र बाँकी होरोको जिगललाई हान्यो स्लिपीलाई पनि हान्यो एड्रियनले अम्बो एड्रियनले दुईजनालाई हान्दिएको तर नक मात्र है दुईजनालाई हान्दियो नोफियरले धन्ने त्यो एड्रियनलाई हान्दिएछ है एड्रियनले हाम्रो नोफियर र स्काई कि स्लिपीलाई बिर्स्यो यार नोफियरले हान्दियो एड्रियनलाई धन्न रिभाइभ हान्दै होला
get it back into control, but all this time, Influence Rage have been healing, have been regrouping.
आरएट आउट भयो के हो अझै एकजना बाँकी हो आरएट को ओके
capitalize off this. He pushes straight in. He's a solo.
Falcon को
But can he pull off a miracle play?
नेड हान्दैछ यार फाल्गुन को लागि
Yes, he
त
can. He re-rotates
आरे डम्बरले लले हान्यो न YG eliminate
looking to make a heroic play, but gets silenced finally from a distance. He's taken down.
Defense rage INF दुईजना नक दुईजना बाँचिरहेको छ खेलाइदिए यार INF ले नि मिठो नार्वालो डी डेड नोफियरले एड्रियनलाई ढाल्दियो रफाले नोफियरलाई ढाल्यो आइजी भर्सेस हो र भइरहेछ यार EX eliminate नोफियर स्लिपीले एड्रियनलाई हान्दियो किल राफाले हो र नोफियरलाई ढाल्यो जिगलले राफालाई मार्यो आइजी नक eliminate आइजी eliminate अब के छ हाम्रो होरको किल त भएको छैन नि नक मात्र हो नि हैन खै देखाउनु पर्यो
pushing in to go into the next zone, so Falcons get eaten alive, and it will be Kinnetrop who have the potential to have.
होरको 4 जना बच्यो 5 किल उठाएको छ एफएफ ले 8 किल उठाएको छ माय गॉड
Top 8 is a possibility. They need a lot of points to get there, but finishing the final game of day number 1 of survival stage is so impactful for Kinnetrop. They have a chance to
This is also a big chance for Regnakaya to put themselves back in and amongst the top dogs of this lobby, making sure that
होरको एकजना नक छ त कसले हान्यो कोसँग पर्यो फेरि
getting up towards 50 would be brilliant. It will take it still quite a lot.
तिमी माल गायब केटा हो
26-point match to be able to get up towards that 60-point mark.
उठायो र उठायो बस्नु पर्यो 4 जना लेट सम्मै
so spread out, mind you. You've got Scarface all the way in the north. So
Skylight हाल्दियो Scarfaceले
down to the south, along with Matcap and Catcher, are going to be the closest together, but even them are quite separated.
Scarfaceले लोक्सले ढाल्दियो आरइजी कोले आरइजी एफएफ र Scarfaceले त किले हान्दियो लोक्सले हो र सँगै छ है आरइजी एफएफ हो र सँगसँगै छ 3 जना आरइजीले Scarfaceलाई नक किले गर्दिएको छ बचायो स्काई बच्यो रिवाइभ गरेको छ स्काईलाई
Not entirely too sure, but it looks like they're going to try and re-establish this split. I mean, there's no one really challenging them here. At this point, everyone's pushing it south or north or west. So they are trying to just cover this ground, but I think leaving someone on the far side of the road may be a bridge.
अब झन् डरलाग्दो हुँदै गइरहेछ जोन सानो हुँदै गइरहेछ टिम थोरै हुँदै गइरहेछ
Scouting the horizons, but your scouts get taken down, and now it's time to get back together. Solus looks to be joining where Catch is currently at. Matcap will also join into the mix. Maybe they were trying to establish individual zones, so when the stages did start to collapse, they had real estate already there and the information needed in order to set up quite nicely to gatekeep, but it's just a bit too much. But with 3 members still remaining, the chance is still there.
हो र एनएस को डक्सले ढाल्दियो एकजना त बाँकी थियो एनएस को नाइस पोइन्ट उठाउँदै छ 6 पोइन्ट नो फेयरले 4 किल हान्दैछ नि त नाइस हो
all eyes on them, 4 strong, dead end of the zone. They can make a deep run.
Yeah, with the hills that they have to play around here, they can definitely get quite close.
Sleepyले सोलले छ ढाल्दियो एफएफ को
The next circle in about 5 seconds as well, so it's going to dictate the pace. Vision slinking their way down this.
सोलले से जिगलले मार्दियो नाइस नक स्लिपीले हान्यो किल जिगलले हान्यो नकले नेड हानेर केएन को 2 जनालाई ढाल्दियो
There's only one player close by to try and handle this one. Ozisan at a distance. I don't think he's going to be able to say anything about this.
केएन को 2 जना नक हुने गरी नेड हानेर ओपी हो नकले फेरि त हान्यो फिनाले नक
is going to be the last ditch effort for Kinnetrop. But I don't know if he's going to have what it takes in order to do so. But he does get the off angle. But the shot's going to be stepped up and taken down. And
खतरा हुन्छ नकले केएन को एकजना मात्र बाँकी
almost the final nail in the coffin, I should say. Ozizan is gone, and now it's
Ozizan
for him.
Where has this team vision been up until now,
Ozizan
right?
एक्लै बाँकी केएनबाट एफएफ को 2 जना बाँकी हो र को 4 जना बाँकी 4 जना चाहिँ हो र ईए र आईएनएफ को मात्र बाँकी छ 4 जना ओजिसान यो दिलबोयले खेलाउँछ यार ओजिसान
really down on their luck, but they have started to pull their socks up.
Son goes into a hot and ready low boy as well as Influence Rage.
Musicianले दिमाग चाहिँ लाग्यो है तर
Influence Rage start to
musicianले घेर्दिसक्यो
is currently at. He won't even get a shot up, unfortunately.
खाइदियो आइएनएफले कसले गोली हान्दैछ केएनएफ एलिमिनेट है
Pressure was on for Ginnetrop to get 3 eliminations. I'm thinking they're going to have a deep run, maybe even surpass the performance of
एफएफ को 2 जना बाकी आरइजी को 3 जना होरा को 4 ए को 4 जना बाकी पीएसएन को नि 4 जना रहेछ आइएनएफ को नि 4 जना पीएसएन को 4 जना थियो यादै नगरेर पीएसएन ले न्यूट्रल लिरा चाहिँ 5 लिसक्यो एफएफ ले 8 लिसकेको 8 नाइस होराले 7 लिएको छ we need more
Having the compound in the southwest quadrant is not necessarily going to be ending up there, so it could potentially be an advantage to be on the outside in this scenario.
Could be. Regnacaria disengaging from the arena earlier, right? You talked about, you said that's a favorable play. I think maybe there's going to be another contest for the hardcover POI, but no.
PSN आरइजी भेट्न लाग्यो रहेछ यता साइड आउँछ कुन हो यो
Everybody knowing this compound is going to be so impactful for the future stages, and everybody wants a piece of it.
The difficulty for E-Arena here is that the positions that they hold have so much open ground around them inside that compound, right? We saw that side shot from Team Vision's perspective. There's just this open wasteland of nothing that sits between them and Regnacaria on that northern side of the compound. To make their way north would be really, really tricky. Use of their time to play around where Mormon is playing, right? That east side of the compound, try and stretch up a little bit closer to the edge, have access to the hills, and potentially take a couple of shots out towards Horror, towards Influence Rage, towards Fireflux's remaining players.
Vision wants it. Vision wants to push in. Regnacaria gets a piece of the building in the next stage. E-Arena going to be quite healthy where they currently at. Mix for Vision. They've got to make a decision, and honestly, going south, you go into E-Arena, you go north, you got Regnacaria who's going to be looking directly at you. You said it was going to be difficult for Vision, well now the job just got even more difficult.
It is. 6 teams now remain with 21 players alive. It looks like Marcelo's going to get a little bit closer now to Regnacaria. Draw some shots out. Get a little bit of info. Yep. Wait for E-Arena to try and challenge as well on a third-party off angle. They aren't spotting it.
PSN आरइजीलाई क्लच हान्न भयो है भन्नाले रस गरिरहेछन्
Into the cover. It's not going to be easy, but it's their only go at it. They focus on the Loxy first. Loxy, though, does a good job.
पता भयो हेर्नु के यता हेर्नु के यता हेर्नु कहाँ हेर्नु लक्ष्यले PSNले ढालेको छ PSNले वाइडले ढालेको छ आरइजीले PSN मार्सेलोलाई ढालेको छ ल PSNलाई चाकसितल गरिदियो आरइजीले who's the boss देखाइदियो आरइजीलाई येले उसाने हान्नु नेट त्यहाँ ल रिभाइभ हानिसक्यो तर त्यो हावाले पनि ढल्छ त्यो रिभाइभ भर्खर भएको त ओइ हिलान भ्यायो यसले ल लागेन
Not going to go down just yet. Tony K hopping up, trying to challenge on the high ground, and might be able to do it, but slips low. And in the meantime, E-Arena have lost a player on the off angle. Fireflux are moving in. Influence Rage, Aura as well, trying to find their way through and closer to this fight.
Tremendous fight, a big fight indeed. The question is, who's going to end up ahead? Regnacaria, E-Arena, Fireflux with
INF पनि एकदम त नक रहेछ नि कोसँग पर्रा हो INF को चाहिँ होरसँग हो क्या हो FF को एकदम नम्बर बाँकी छ आरइजी र ईमा दुई जना मरोस् त
with the choke point of the stairway. He knows if anyone pushes up, they're good for dead. Silas needs to hit the shots needed, but no one is going for the challenge just yet. Regnacaria still has a little bit of distance. The fight will stagnate once again.
Silas, the big dog with 5 E-limbs, sat at the top of the performance charts for Regnacaria here in their final moments of this hold. Alpha 7 couldn't do it. Vision couldn't do it. E-Arena taking a crack at it. Regnacaria too tall of a mountain to climb here as they keep
मोरम्यान पनि गयो मोरम्यानले त नक किल हान्दिएछ जोकरलाई नक हाने किल पनि हान्दियो ईको गयो यार आरिजीले कस्तो डेन्जर हानेको भने
They take a couple of pop shots on the Aura, keep their heads down.
आरिजीको टिम नै छ यार तिनजना छ आरिजी कस्तो खेलाइदिएको होला त
Who's going to have the off angle? A Rectum Karia once they do push out. But for
हाम्रो भर्सेस आइएमएफ हुँदैछ यार कमन लिल बोयलाई फर्स्ट हाल्नुपर्छ है मेरो विचारमा चाहिँ लिल बोय हो म पागल
one of their best performances yet. I'm hoping they start to crawl their way up into the top 8 position.
धाल्यो लिल बोय धाल्यो यस स्लिपी दामी लिल बोय दामी जिगलले मार्दै लिल बोयलाई यस बल
It was Ketch who was able to catch them on the approach there. They're potentially going to be reservoir, but the blue zone pushing in, they just don't have the time. Dead center of the circle right now sits in Aura territory, and it's going to be up to Rectum Kaya to try and dispatch them from that location. Rectum Kaya committing? No, they don't find the res.
Wild, he's got the forward position. He's going to be the closest to Hora, but he doesn't understand what he's getting into. You've got Influence Rage who's been fighting against Hora. Wild going for the off angle. Sleepy has taken a lot of damage. Sky's going to going in. The tip of the spear, looking to turn the tides. Rectum Karia is full committed.
Sleepy हाल्दिएको
To go Wild. He's the only one who's going to be
आरिजीले नो फेरि हाल्दियो नि त फेरि सक्छ नो फेरलाई
I think they got this. Aura, they are running on fumes.
Hora चारजना बचिरहेछ दामी दामी आरिजी एलिमिनेट यस नो फेयर ऱ्याम्पेज
The shot, but Loris goes down to the back line, and no answer is found with an aid. Sky looking to try and take up the match.
Sky र एनएफ र एफएफ को त एकजना मात्र बाँकी छ त्यो मुलाले लास्टमा हान्छ उनीहरु बसिरहेछ यार
Into this match, but Ketch is there. He finds it, and that's Law as well, taking the shots out wide. Nobody's getting out of this desert unscathed now, and Law can't find the first. Looks for the second challenge, and he just dips behind it. Stays alive for a moment longer, a breath.
Hora को यार दुईजना नक्छ यार
Sleepy's the one to watch out for. Catch as well. Look, Fireflux gets still very well with us with a solo, and it couldn't happen. Sleepy's going to take down Law. He's going to be gone. No Fear's once again dropped. Diego's going to be pushing up onto Aura. The nade's going to be cooking. Aura's actually out, and now it comes down to a 1v1. It's going to be Catch versus Diego.
Law.
Madman from Fireflux. They've been playing on drips and traps for so long, and they've managed to find it right at the end. What a crazy turnaround.
Law एफएमले त पागल गर्दियो त लास्टमा दुईजनाको फाइट निस्केर ढान्दिरा
We knew he was in a power spot watching Rectum Karia start to rotate over after they win 2 dominating fights, but at the end of the day, it was Catch overlooking his competition, overlooking the battlefield, the battleground, and knowing he had what it took, what it takes in order to take over the victory. Fireflux, a tremendous win, and a night and day difference from their group play performance to where they currently stand, just behind Power.
Horale chicken हान्न लागिसकेको थियो यार
I mean, Fireflux, by all rights, should not have won that one. And I think that for me, Rectum Kaya put on a real classy display in that match. That hold on the north side, that regroup up to the north edge as well. That is a team of discipline. So for Rectum Kaya, they close down strong. The top 8 here looking pretty healthy. We'll see if they can maintain that spot, because Alpha 7, they're going to be trying to batter down the door. We're going to head back over to the desk. Kalaris, what do you guys make of that one?
An unreal ending with chaos abound all over the place, but somehow Fireflux gets themselves the victory here, despite Influence Rage and Aura being able to position themselves as best they can. Joining me, everybody is joining me. We got Seven, we got Neptura. They're hyped, they are ready to go here for the survival stage, and also Max Mantier as well.
Oh, thank you.
I was so impressed by how they were reacting to that game, Max.
Yeah, they were very hyped about it.
Yes.
I was not looking at them. I was looking at Aura. I was looking at the side of Influence. I was also looking at Regnum Car, but no, staying next to the fence, being really silent.
Chicken and do FF play.
Here, Fireflux to actually get themselves a good old win. Guys, good to see it. Yes.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. It finally happened to actually, what is that? 2 wins.
Horale जितिसकेको थियो यार मुखमा आइसकेको थियो यार
Performance out of them, 22 points total, 12 eliminations. Really tough. I mean,
GG,
super top heavy, I feel
GG,
like, for this match. Influence race 2, 13 points.
Kincana.
It was good to see Hora being able to actually perform here. I felt like so far today they were really quiet. This at least will put them closer up to the top 8 to contend for more.
फाइदा लियो यार एकै बचेर यार
I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see who can actually try and beat them coming into tomorrow, right? Because we have seen, as we said earlier, not many teams just go for it. We haven't seen another alter ego. We haven't seen that domination from any one team. So everything is very close. So this match in particular has been super interesting points-wise to see how that leaderboard has been shaken up.
Yeah, it's a lot more even going around the board here for the survival stage. You just don't have one big team dominating everyone. Even though Power had a really good day too. Looking at this one, Alpha 7. Oh,
I knew you were going to do it. I knew it. Come on.
Sorry, yeah.
Winston Payne, do it.
Oh my god, I can't.
Not quite like that.
Do something, please. Means by kind, shout it to you.
Yeah, understandable, right? Obviously, there's a lot of expectations on them to be able to perform a little bit better than this, but another single-point game that we need to see Alpha 7 have a massive day tomorrow.
डेंजर ट्विस्ट ल्याइदियो यार त्यो एफएफकोले एकजना मात्र बचेर यार त्यत्रो बेर बसेर
I really wish it happens tomorrow because otherwise we're not going to see much from them in the finals, like at all.
No.
So, what do you do in just another 6 games? They're going to have to do an alter ego all over again if they want to actually make the top 8. And the way they're playing now, it's not happening.
The thing is, they also, that was very British, by the way.
There's been a lot of that.
They also fixed the hot drop issue. They did not buy Falcons in El Porto, so they actually left with, okay, that's the biggest issue for them on Miramar. It's been fixed. And then they go to another team that also fixed the hot drop. It was Magnum Caria, and instantly get wrecked over there. So, as you said, we need to see some alter ego level results if we want to see Alpha 7 make it to the finals.
Well, let's talk about the overall rankings then, and I'll get your thoughts on it in a moment, 7, as of course we have ourselves up towards the top. It's a Fireflux fight against Power. Of course, Power came into the last game at number 1, but Fireflux with these 2 wins, that sneaky, cheeky win here, 7. They're at number 1.
Honestly, if you're Fireflux, you're coming in confident tomorrow. You have what is that, 29-point lead up to 8 plays. You're going to be able to maybe even think about doing some stuff to those teams towards the bottom to try to stop them to make it to the grand final. So yeah, Alpha 7, it's going to be scary for you tomorrow.
I was going to say, Alpha 7, you go down, you know, like, you could genuinely do that at some point, because I think we were talking about it earlier, Kalaris, right, about what the point threshold could be. We were like, maybe 60, maybe towards the 70, like, they are pretty much there. So they could just relax, because really, you're just getting extra prize pool, which
कति पुगेछ त हो र 6 मा पुगेछ 46 पोइन्टले एनएस चाहिँ 48 मा छ हाम्रो फाल्कन 48 फायरफ्लक्स चाहिँ धेरै पोइन्ट लिने यार धेरै फाइदा उठायो फायरफ्लक्सले भोलि तिनीहरू गेम बिग्रियो भने तिनीहरूलाई त्यस्तो टप 8 बाट चाहिँ ननिस्केला यार तिनीहरू
day 2 of their group stage.
जी चिकन खाइदियो
that continue in through to survival stage, and it has. The one thing that I'm surprised at though is how elimination heavy their result actually is, because 16 placement points is all we see out of them. Compare that to Fireflux, who kind of have been a lot quieter. I mean, yes, they've won 2 games, but game to game we haven't seen as much from them as some of the others who have been a bit louder. But 30 to 34 for Fireflux is massive for them. It's really nice consistency. If Power could just try and survive a little bit more, turn those strats into points just a little bit more, we are looking at another Fireflux.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Falcons. I want to see what they're going to be doing tomorrow, if they can finally get the win. We saw them do really
smart rotations. 30 point उठाएको रहेछ यार फायरफ्लक्स ले त जी त चिकन 20 उठाइहाल्यो
the way that they play, having teams a little bit scared of them, giving them that freedom to actually do those rotations. They got away with some today.
एक चिकनबाट 10 अनि अरु 6
We had an amazing rotate right down next to Soul there, Rodok, and it was a very, very good rotate. And then they got
elimination त जरो पावरले निकाले रहेछ सबसे धेरै 40
Be aggressive the entire way. I think that is the way Power can make it the top 8. As on the second page, a lot of teams that we just do not want to see here, and again, Alpha 7 are still on that page.
Yeah, okay, this is the danger zone. I think my concerns really do lie with AX, TMG, Intense Game, Gamax Esports here in Neptura. These teams need to have a massive day tomorrow because they had a pretty rough group stage for the most part, and now they have only 6 games remaining and only 12 points at the top for them.
I'm surprised AXTMG did not have as good of a day as we saw in day 1 of the group stage. I'm really surprised Intense Game is there because I was really shouting for I really liked how they were playing. They were playing very split but very controlled. They were doing some good things synergy-wise. They weren't going off on their own too much and all of that. It just wasn't able to actually, number 1, turn that into points. and number
अब
two,
हामी
actually
जान्छौँ
come
अब
back from
हामी
their day
इन्ड
one
गर्छौँ लाइभ
performance. So
लाइभ
see
इन्ड
that
गर्न
happen all
अघि
over again.
कोही
It's a bit
छ भने
disappointing.
And not just points, placement points. They have 0 placement points in the rankings. Then you get eliminations. That means they're not getting anywhere near the later stages of the match. So we need to see more from intense games. They're doing so well. Going into Americas, I expected more. And just nothing has been good so far here for PMWC.
See you guys.
Those teams will be like, okay, maybe it is their first